It's right behind you, I think.
Oh!
I moved it pretty sweetheart.
Ooh, look what I have here. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you say my whiskey's complete? Ryan's right back here. Katie's over here stuffing her face with chili. Right there. And we got the debate on in front of us. It's starting in 55 minutes and 8 seconds. And we're super excited about it. Let me see if I know what I'm doing here. If you are on the, let's see, let's go here. You need to check out the 97.1 Facebook page because Dave Glover and the crew are doing a Facebook Live right now. So go to the 97.1 Facebook page. Can somebody look up and see can you guys hear the sound coming from the Dave Glover show right now? I don't know.
We'll take a look.
I've never tried this before. I don't really know what I'm doing.
Wait,
But I do know what's delicious, and it's this.
So far, the only thing I've found is that I have arrived at your house according to my GPS.
Oh, this just in. Katie? Can't see your face. There you go. So we need to know, if you're watching right now, will you tell us, can you hear the Dave Glover show going at the same time? Because we are going to join that Facebook Live, the one right here. We're going to join that at 7:40. Tears of Snowflake says, we are partying with you, Annie.
Woo! Hi, Tears.
Lauren,
my mouth is on fire.
Lauren, you're saying that you can hear the Glover show? See, like, why can't I mute that? Let's go, Trump. It's not as,
There's everybody.
Yeah, it's not as loud as you speaking, though. Can't hear Dave at all. Okay. Well, I have that up there just so that you know what's going on. I want you to go check out the 97.1 FM Talk Facebook page where you can watch Dave and Tony and Andrew and Rachel. They're all reacting to what's coming up. And I'm going to join that at 7:40. So since you can hear both of us right now, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Did you guys see my t-shirt? Sweet. Is this something we can all agree on here? Right? What about his t-shirt?
Hey.
I gave him that.
Yeah, this was for my birthday from Annie. So
Yeah.
I had to wear it.
And Katie. And I gave her pants. We should have Ryan wear those pants with that shirt.
Yeah,
These
or
are
those
so
pants with no
comfortable.
shirt.
Okay.
These
I
are
mean,
from
the shirt's
Disney.
great. Yeah, those are from Disney and those are for Disney. See how that works? So we got the debate on. We're in my basement right now. We've got our whiskey slush that
It's
I
a
said.
legit party.
The whiskey slush is what I made last night. Now, you guys have both had it.
Yes.
Ryan, you had the honey, and Katie, you had the lemon.
I did. Lemon was delicious. It's so refreshing. Jared is on it.
Here he is.
On it. He did such a great job.
Man of the hour.
Woo!
What about you, Ryan? You said you like whiskey.
Okay, I
You've
love
never had whiskey slush
I've done the bourbon tour twice in Kentucky. That's how much I love, bourbon. So whiskey.
Yeah.
I've never had a whiskey slush in my life until today. And I don't know if it's the whiskey slush that I love or the brand.
Just say it's Stumpy's.
Yeah, we have to say
I mean, for the sake of Stumpy's.
I mean, it's one of those where you're like, okay, they're the sponsor, so of course it's good. But
it's legit.
It's actually like, this is my preferred drink at this point because it's that good.
I said that last night when we were making it. And we made one batch with the lemon drop and one batch of the whiskey slush with the honey. And when I tasted like I said on the air today, it's like you want to crawl inside this glass and get cozy. It's the perfect autumn comfortable drink.
Let me say this. So I like bourbon a lot, but I usually have it mixed with soda because I like sweet stuff and I like the way the smoky bourbon makes soda taste, which is why I like it. I'm drinking this just straight. Like they said,
he kept just pouring the whiskey on top of the slush, and he's like, "Well, it just didn't do anything." So he's drinking, and then he just poured a little bit more on.
No, it really
is. It's
that
easy to
good.
Drink, and it's really good.
It's fantastic.
And you've got the lemon drop.
Yeah, and this is some premium whiskey right here.
It's brightness in glass.
I like to drink, and this is some good stuff.
Okay, so let's look and see what y'all are saying because you're commenting here. Thank you to everybody who's watching on YouTube. We're gonna try to focus a bit on the YouTube channel for tonight. We're gonna comment in all the places that we are, but we want to make sure that we're going to kind of key in on the YouTube channel because we're really trying hard to grow that. And so we are grateful for wherever you're watching. Thank you for being here. But at 7:40, I am going to join the live stream that is taking place right now at 97.1 FM Talk. I am going to continue live streaming right here. So this is going to be kind of meta in the sense that we will be streaming the stream, which is where we go into a loop, and maybe that's how this ends. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so you can watch us on YouTube at the Annie Fry YouTube page. You can watch us on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page, and we're on Periscope. And it is what it is, guys. There's no excuse not to hang out with us. We're gonna keep this rolling right here through the debate. You're gonna get out. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna watch the debate, so you can watch the debate. We're not gonna talk the whole time, but when we hear something that we like or something we don't like, or me going, no, that's not right, and acting like a crazy person, especially after a few of these, we're gonna watch this with you. This is like COVID party fun together. We're gonna socially distance together.
That's the first time we've been in the same room since March.
So, this is the first time we've seen each other together since March.
It's crazy.
It's pretty fun, actually.
Yep. So yeah, people saying we're partying with you.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yes. Carlos says hi. Carlos always here. Always great to have you here. Peter says, no slushy brandy beat. I don't know what that means, but it's probably a bourbon thing or something. Man Spielt says, over under for how long it takes before Katie gets medium drunk.
I'm on my first drink.
Here's the thing. Katie's got a tolerance, so it's going to take
She's
her
worse
a while.
on it.
I'm
Ryan.
already medium drunk.
Face yourself now. Hey, look what we got. Michael Harrison, thank you so much. If this causes a black hole, I'm down. The streaming is streaming. $5 on the super chat on YouTube. Thank you so much. Katie and Ryan saw my studio.
Yes.
For the first time.
Yeah, amazing.
Really
Yeah.
I have invested some money in that to make it so that I can come to you in the most professional way possible, and had to invest in some things outside of what we normally would have to do. So all of that money that we make on the YouTube channel, which unfortunately YouTube is basically not allowing us to make any money on the live streams that we do during the show. Like, that's just for you. If you watch an ad on that, people take that money from me. So we're working on trying to expand what we're doing here and be able to come to you more often. I've already told Jared that we're going to be doing more cooking shows, and maybe in the future you guys can come. Is it spicy chili?
I gotta go change. I'm sorry.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
And I'm sweating too, but I'm like, I'm just gonna do another bowl.
Well, because of the chili?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
spicy.
I love it.
Would you guys like to come over and try more recipes? Like when Jared and I are making food, would you come hang out with us?
Yes.
Can I try and attempt to help you guys make
that should
food?
be what it is. It should be Jared teaching Katie
I
how
would
to cook.
love to.
Ryan, you can eat it and tell
I'll
us.
just lay on my back and you can pour things in my mouth.
Christina, thank you so much. That is awesome. I appreciate it so much. This is a family here. And I was saying, and you guys know this, like when we see other people who do what we do for a living and they're on social media, when they get shut down, Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Prager University, when they get shut down on these social media platforms, like we have the radio, and that is the biggest thing that we do here.
That's our big outlet.
But if they get shut down and they can't access their audience or profit off of that, profiting is not bad, folks. If they can't profit off of it, they can't pay people to go out and create the content, make the content, access the content. And it's not funny. It's a Prager
Talk to that guy.
It's like it
Not
hurt
him.
us.
He's the guy that we talked to.
What's
on
his
the
name? Kirk something?
Do you think that they're preventing you from,
Thank you, Christina, so much. I really appreciate it.
from monetizing YouTube because of it being
Well,
competitive?
I can show you here on our YouTube channel. It will say,
Because you're digital enough that you would know, like,
Yeah.
oh no, there's this other thing that we're not doing yet. Or whatever.
it blocks us based on, it'll say ad suitability, and it'll say the content that we put out is not favorable to the majority of advertisers who
So
participate.
it's politically conservative.
Yes. Well, I mean, they might. I've never done a politically liberal, show. Maybe it's people who say I don't want to buy any politics, and so they don't allow their ads to run on our stuff. And I mean, like seriously, if you watch an ad or something like that on anytime you're on YouTube and you watch the 10-second ad, it's like the person who's got that up probably gets like a penny from it or something. It's not massive, but it's something we can do to build our brand and then reinvest in ourselves. And so Christina, I'm very grateful for you and for the folks last night who participated that way. It's just really awesome, and it's totally not necessary. We're very, very grateful for it. So Michael, hopefully this does cause a black hole. I mean, that was Saul 2020.
Yeah, there we go.
I didn't see it coming, but what wouldn't you see coming? Oh, what about this?
Show this. Can we see it?
Yeah.
Tilt it forward a little bit. There you go.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
That's the whiskey going down Ryan's pipe here. Yep.
Annie's house is also, for everyone that's watching right now, super cutely decorated with pumpkins, and there's a lot of Halloween decor. It is adorable, and for all of you fall people out there, we are in the spooky season.
It's all about the candles.
The decoration is so
Cute.
scary
It's a
that I
spooky.
literally died.
I'm sick of you. I can't do Ryan.
Chrissy said, I'm sure Josh would come cook with you. He's a professional chef at a high-end restaurant in St. Louis, I believe. So, okay, we've got people pouring in here.
Woohoo!
Yay, hello.
I am going to set up another computer because I'm going to do the live stream on the 97.1 FM Talk. Like, I can show you here. Let's pop them in here. Add to stream. So this is what's going on right now on the 97.1 FM Talk page. I can't mute them, but I really feel like I should be able to. Oh, I wonder if I... Hold on a second, guys. Hold on just a second.
I feel like they should be hearing us, but they're not.
Hey! Hey!
I feel like they're looking at us.
They have lower thirds. Look at that.
Did I fix it? Can you... No. Well, yes, but no.
Not at you.
Can you hear them now? Can you guys hear Dave and Tony talking right now? Comment and tell me. Somebody tell me. Drive carefully. Enjoy the scenery. No, London. Thank you so much. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll show you this right now because I'm going to be joining this live here in just a second, but I got to go set up a computer. So I'm going to turn this over to Ryan and Katie and just trust it in their hands right now. Is that okay?
We're gonna
So
do great.
we're on this while you're on this.
So this is what happens when my internet goes out in the middle of the show.
We dance.
Yeah.
We dance.
Oh.
Hey,
Oh,
hi.
okay. I didn't know that was happening.
Let's see if
So
I
what
can scroll.
happens is then Katie goes, oh, and then says a word that I'm not. I could say it here because we're not on. She usually says
don't-
a word that we can't repeat.
She won't take the Lord's name in vain.
I
She will
won't.
not do that. And so then she goes, Ryan, Annie, I think is gone. And then my eyes get really big, and I go, oh yeah, oh, and then I simultaneously go, oh crap.
There's Brian.
And
Brian.
oh wait, I've been
McKenna's
waiting
whiskey-
all day to say whatever, and then I just start talking.
This whiskey slush is the bomb.
Brian McKenna. That's
Woo-woo.
my boy. That's Brian. This is not Brian McKenna. That's Brian McKenna. And I worked with
Well,
him in
hi,
Sports Talk
Brian.
Radio. And he's a very common sense, level-headed dude. And I am so good to hear that you're doing well.
Can I put this one up there? I'm doing it.
Come on, Albert.
Albert is Ryan's biggest fan.
Albert, in this context, that's fine. But when I'm just sitting there in the show, and
I
see
mean,
this stuff,
seriously,
I'm like, dude, what the heck?
I'll be going on about how abortion is terrible, and you should try to explain abortion to your kids, and then you'll know how terrible it is. And then Albert's like, "But look at Ryan's head. Look at Ryan's forehead. What a T-shirt!" And Ryan's always, we see Ryan see it. We know
see
that it's there,
Yeah, we see his reaction.
and we
Yeah.
just let it go. Albert, you're one of our faves. Thank
If
you so much.
If you comment during the show, there's a 95% chance that we're seeing it. And, I mean, unless we're in the middle of something like really crazy.
one of them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh my goodness. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. This is so awesome. Wow. This is really great. For those of you that are new to any of this, we are on 97.1 FM Talk. That's just something that old radio you can dial up. And we're on from 12 to 3.
This is what happens when Katie takes over.
You need to keep her in mind. You need to keep him in mind.
This is 12 to 3, guys, and we have such a good time every single day, Monday through Friday. We have so much fun. We have other people on the station with us. Tim Jones, if you know his show, Mark Cox. We have our friend Gabe Pfeiffer that joins us.
Not to interrupt your ad, but
But to interrupt it,
But
okay, I was on.
are people logging on right now who don't know what this is?
They might not.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This is on YouTube. This is on
Oh,
YouTube
good,
and stuff.
good, good.
And Periscope. Ryan, we explained this already.
This is a great opportunity to join because this is the most fun we're going to have probably all
Ryan
year.
thinks that everybody knows about the Annie Fry show, which is really cute.
I mean, I go up to Chicago and I'm like, I'm on the Annie Fry show. And then I just sort of walk
Probably
in the
not
doors.
the best place to be dropping that word.
Yeah. Here I am at the governor's mansion. I'm on the anti-precious.
But Ryan, we're on a bunch of different platforms that might not have ever heard of us before. So we want to welcome you guys in.
I know what all of them are. Periscope still confuses me. I don't know what that is. I mean, I know it's a thing.
Yeah, we're there, but
I don't know what happens there that doesn't happen elsewhere.
That's mainly like a Twitter thing, right?
Periscope is?
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
Okay, that makes
That's
more
like
sense now.
remember
That's
like
what they use to like stream.
yeah.
Okay.
That's a big Twitter thing.
What time is it right now? I can't see the laptop.
7:20. So Mark
Okay,
Cox
we're
should
gonna
be
watch
taking
the
over.
transition happen. Let's see how this goes between Dave and.
Yeah, let's grade it.
Yeah.
All right, Dave.
But where is Mark?
No, he's not there yet. Let's turn on the volume and hold on a second here. Let's watch our friendly. There. Oh!
Wow! Oh!
Oh! That's good.
Well done,
Yes.
And now they're gonna crosstalk and be like, "Oh my
Let's
goodness!"
listen. Is this gonna?
Think their glove?
That is the last thing you see before someone hits you in the head with a shovel.
And this is the last thing you'll ever hear me. The last time you'll ever hear me say this. But let me show you my bird.
Okay, Mark.
Hey, look at that.
You see my parrot?
This is your neighbor in real life.
All right, I'm not old enough to hear that.
Hunter t-shirt.
Trish has got to wear his Hunter t-shirt on.
Does
Classic.
she really?
Yes, I'm sure that they have somebody who makes them stuff. We need somebody who makes us stuff.
We do. Should I be using a cup holder over there? I mean, a coaster, not a cup holder.
We have everything we need, but we have no nice things.
That's how I like it. That's exactly how I like it. That's home. That's not a house. It's home. What were you saying,
Okay,
Ryan?
well, before you got here, Katie said if anybody leaves a ring on my tables, I'm gonna lose my
I'm gonna beat my
my stuff.
She did not say that. Okay.
So where's
see.
everybody watching the debate? Like, is
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
gonna watch it anywhere other than Fox? If so, I would be interested to know
That's
where
a good
and
question. Yeah, I wonder who are the daring folk that are going to be watching this on MSNBC.
why. You know what? That's
Is it
kind
on?
of, that's
Is
kind of
it on?
fun though.
I don't.
Is
It's
it-
got
I'm
to
sure it
be.
is.
Isn't this a Fox?
No, I don't. Oh, I don't think it's exclusive to Fox just because it's Chris Wallace.
I thought it would be on Fox News and Fox Network.
Someone, Kristen said she's going to be watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sure Fox.
That's
YouTube,
awesome.
And
That's where I told my husband to watch it from.
I tend
honestly,
to watch them on well, not necessarily on TV PBS, but online PBS.
oh
Because
yeah,
they just
mhm.
it's just so plain.
yeah. I
And they don't
actually do that too.
anything to it,
Yeah.
which I kind of like. Although for this event, man, this feels like a sporting event.
I just absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Oh, Paul says too much slush. Not yet.
For who? For
We're-
who?
We're getting started. I'm kidding. I probably shouldn't be in front of this game.
I'm actually going to be going on the air at 10:05 with Tony, like the real air, the FCC air. So,
All right. There
where's
it
Mark
is.
going? Hey, I don't know what you guys think. Let's just talk about Mark Cox while he's up there and he can't hear us.
Yeah.
I think this is the best Mark Cox has ever looked.
He looks fantastic.
He looks like a badass. He looks like the Trump with the bald that we were always like, do it, Trump, do it. But then you don't know what size head or shape head Donald Trump has.
Yeah.
But the beard and the goatee, like
Mhm.
Mark has never looked better.
I think he looks awesome, and everyone that I've talked to that
Black
loves,
rim glasses.
yeah, he looks freaking great. But I think he loves his hair too much. He can't give that up.
I need you to pull that look off. Can you look like that?
What? I already am
Mark-
bald.
So Mark comes.
Buddy says
Yeah,
my
we got
TV
you.
knows no other station.
Wait a
I
second.
already have everything you listed.
Rusty is asking you
Yeah.
and I, Annie, are we going to let Ryan sit down somewhere?
I actually told Ryan he has to stay behind the couch.
I don't even have a chair. I'm just like squatting to get in the seat. No, look at. I have a seat. See?
So I think I'm going to sit for the debate when it starts. I'm going to sit on the floor right here where Katie's sitting, and these two will probably sit up on the couch.
I'll probably sit
So-
here.
Mike says Staunton in the house. I love me some Staunton. You guys had one hell of a Trump parade here this past weekend. Did you guys see that? I'll have to show you guys.
Man, we've got some people. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is awesome.
Not to get too deep into it right
Uh-oh.
now, but there is totally going to be a hidden Trump voter in this thing. There's a hidden Trump voter in the polls. Polls.
Balls.
There's a hidden Trump voter who they're not polling, and then there's a voter who's so pro Trump that they're actually deliberately not polling. Like they won't take calls
From people that
they
are
might even be saying they're voting for Biden just to screw it up.
to throw it off.
There are
I've heard
two
that
groups
before.
of people that are not being polled.
Yeah, no, I totally believe. Actually, I've heard that a lot from people that really, really love Trump. That usually when someone calls, a pollster calls, if that ever happens, they usually are like, I'm voting for Biden.
No kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I've heard that, but I haven't met anybody that has actually said they're doing that. But there are people doing that.
Ryan has the best job ever.
What is it? Why? Why Ryan?
Why not us? Come on.
Because we're the ones actually working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Careful. All right, I am signed into that over there. Here, I'll show you. This is how this is going to work. You guys get the back end. So that is the computer that I'm going to stream onto the 97.1 FM talk stream, which is right here. And this, when I'm actually pointing left right now in real life, and I have gotten better at that. But usually if you watch me during the show, I'm like, or if like, I feel like my right eyebrow is up too high and not balanced when I'm watching this. This is so vain, but I'll try to fix it. But then I'll do the other one. And then so I make it even higher. It's the stupidest thing ever because it's flipped. So, but it's flipped so that like this, where it says Cardinals back here, doesn't say Sladnendirk backwards in cursive. Is that what Cardinals would say backwards?
I'm so
I don't know.
intrigued by that handover from the Glover Show to the Mark Cox Morning Show.
So we're
That
about
was
to do
such
it.
a
We're
good.
about to do it.
I don't think
and
we can do it as well as they did it. I think we're gonna probably fail.
We're all in one camera.
what? We all got whiskey.
They're in different rooms.
Yeah, we're over here. We'll be on that, and I'll just sit in front. You guys can get behind me or whatever. And look at all these people. There's over 300 people watching right now.
Check out what I can do with my eyebrows now
Oh,
that
no.
Annie was talking about hers.
It's weird. See, you went the wrong way.
I did.
When did you discover you have that talent? This is too close to COVID. Your eyebrows. They're pointy. Yeah.
Kinda, but I was doing both.
Hey, we didn't talk about this today, or did we? The fact that The Rock comes out and endorses Joe Biden.
We talked about it yesterday.
Okay, because he sat down and talked with him, but he didn't sit down and talk with Trump. So
We literally had this conversation on the air.
I say a lot of things. I talk on the air. I talk to Katie off air sometimes about like content or getting guests on. I talk to my husband about things. I talk to my family about things. I never know exactly like what actually went on air.
I have to say this because speaking about that, this is so funny. This is totally a little insight into Annie.
Wait.
Jared and I will get together and it will be me and Jared and Annie.
That's a lie.
And Annie, like, we'll start talking about something, and she's like, I don't know if I told you or if I told Jared this, but I told one of you to this, what she was going to say next. That happens all the time. And it's so great because Jared and I are like, which one did she tell that to?
Yeah, sometimes it's both.
And it's great.
Thank you for tuning into this. There's a lot of people with us. Hi.
Grab a drink. What
I wish
y'all
you could taste
drinking?
the chili. Look at this. This is my husband's chili.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the chili?
Delicious.
That's
Probably top 3 chilies I've ever had.
It's not
I
really
agree.
soup. It's more. It's
chunky.
very
I love
substantial.
chunky.
If you put it on top of corn chips,
Mm.
it's
Mm.
really good. In fact, I'm going to do that in a minute.
Is
And I'm
there-
going to eat one of those giant hot dogs on camera. I'm going to eat it real slow.
I hope your whiskey doesn't cause you to lose bodily function.
God, it's going to cause me to lose my job.
Oh, look at what Mark's got. His whiskey up there.
Oh,
See right here.
nice. Oh, there's Tim.
Yep, Tim Jones is on the rooftop
What
somewhere.
is he? That's at work.
Oh, is he? Maybe he's in studio to.
Oh, he's with Tony?
Christina says, love you guys. I listen to you every day. Love the laughs. Thank you. We like to laugh. First of all, because if we don't, sometimes we would cry.
Ryan, don't do
I didn't
that.
make the hot dogs. I
Don't,
want a hot
Ryan.
dog.
Don't. Not here.
Comments here on if that was inappropriate. Where's Kathy Edelman?
I'm glad we
She's
caught
our
that.
HR
though.
director.
We
Yeah.
nipped that.
Ryan.
Right in the bud.
All right. Great. Jonathan says, great party. I wish I was there. Maybe next debate in 4 years, we'll have a party here and there won't be a pandemic, and we'll just have the whole Annie Fry Show listening audience over to the Annie Fry Show house. And we'll be, I want to call this the Biden basement, and I was going to put that in the description, but I was like, I don't want people to not watch because I hate Biden.
Right.
Like, we can make fun of Trump. He says a lot of stupid stuff too, but yeah. Oyster crackers is the way to go, right on, Annie. Yeah, they're good. They're the perfect, because this is spicy to the point where it makes you drink your whiskey faster. So it's kind of like it serves a purpose, but the crackers make it not as hard. Holy sausage balls! I made the lemon drop whiskey slushy and maybe for Schnickered before the debate starts. Pam!
Yeah,
Cheers
Pam.
to Pam. A
Get
little
wild.
Stumpy's whiskey slush here. 30
Uh-oh.
minutes and 16 seconds before the debate starts. And I'm noticing that my TV seems to be a little
Yeah.
for Schnickered.
Oh yeah, so it's
Snickered.
probably more like 29 seconds, 29
Yeah,
minutes,
that's
30
all.
minutes right now.
In the whiskey slush, do you taste, I mean, the instant tea. I think the instant tea is the secret weapon.
Yeah, no, the tea is the tea is the strongest part.
It's what cuts
Oh, you
the
put
sweetness.
tea in this.
Instant tea.
The tea is what-
The
Oh.
recipe
Tea
card is
yeah.
sitting right up there.
Oh, I just thought it was like frozen whiskey.
No. I think the
No,
tea cuts
it's got,
this.
It's
Yeah.
got frozen lemonade, frozen
Oh,
orange
it's like
juice.
a legit recipe. Okay, it's
Ryan!
Okay.
I did a Facebook Live making it last night, and you came on
I know,
and
and I watched
What?
it. I watched it and I looked at that recipe card too.
This is what happens during the show. We're like talking about things, and then Ryan's like, "Hey, you know what would be great is if you put instant tea in it."
You know what's funny today, Annie? There was
What?
a moment. There was a moment where you were talking about Cardi B and who's the singer that you really like?
Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke. We were using that as a bump music.
Sam Cooke is the one I really like.
Yeah.
In case anybody was
And
confused.
you were talking about how, man, if aliens ever came down and we picked one song for them to play, and we picked Sam Cooke, they might be friendly with us. If you picked Cardi B,
I
it
think
might
they
be,
would ask us to teach them our ways.
yeah, it might
Yeah.
be the end of Earth if we picked the wrong song. And it was like you were just setting something on a tee for either me or Katie to jump into. And it was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be funny. I'm gonna say something funny, and I could not think of a dang thing to say out of that. And it was like you stopped talking, gave us the moment, and I was
then
like,
pass.
I know.
I give you credit that you stopped and didn't try to just say something.
Oh, Ryan.
It was
There's
like,
Josh Hawley.
hey, Josh Hawley's on. We're in Illinois though. So
Oh,
So he's still I'll take him.
he's still a senator.
Yeah,
right?
he's a senator, and he replaced Claire McCaskill. That still benefits me. Thank you, Missouri.
Yay!
Thank you.
President Donald Trump arrives. I am so excited.
Where are the remotes? This is the mouse are not moving. Yeah, where is it?
Ooh, I just touched that candle.
Oh, I wonder if Wi-Fi thing down here, but I can't do that while I'm streaming.
Rather see Ryan eat a hot dog than attempt any more ASMR.
Oh God, it's like. Oh,
Ryan,
maybe
you're
you need to do hot
You're
dog
great.
ASMR.
No, Ryan, don't
Yeah,
you dare
hot
eat
dog
that hot dog
ASMR.
when
That'll be
you're-
a whole genre.
That you would own that lane. Have you seen any good
I missed you guys.
hot dog ASMR lately?
I really missed you guys. I did.
That's just what they talk about at the bars,
Okay, I'm scrolling up.
at the Florida bars, not
Oh,
around
that's
here.
fine. So
Dude, I was watching this hot dog ASMR video. The other day. It was so hype.
fast track to jail. Brandy says, "Hey, Annie Fry, you rock." Brandy,
Yes.
you rock. I love seeing the wide array of people who tune into our show and who comment on Facebook. We have all ages who are here, and I appreciate every single one of you. I really am grateful for that. I know that we make it a very big priority to be able to come to you digitally. That's important to me, and Ryan and Katie for sure are huge contributors to that. So we're grateful for all of you who are here and watching us. And we're about 26 minutes away from debate, and we're going to continue sitting here with the whole, we'll all be here, sitting here like this, and we're going to be doing a live reaction as the debate is going on. And in 6 minutes, in theory, Annie, when you wrap this show, okay. So like I
Don't
said,
read that.
so over here is the live stream, that computer that I'm going to use to join these folks that are doing this right now over on the 97.1 Facebook page. So make sure that you like the 97.1 Facebook page. Obviously, you're here. You're on the Annie Fry Show Facebook page. You're on the Annie Fry YouTube page. You might be watching us on Periscope. Super, super exciting. I cannot. Okay, predictions real quick. No, let's wait. Let's wait to talk about that in 5 minutes when we join this, so we have something to talk about.
I don't know what's going to be said. I don't know how it's going to be, like, who's going to get the first question?
Oh, look at this. Who we got? It's Digital Rob.
Rob!
Yay, digital, get down.
Get
Hey,
Wiggins.
Wiggins.
That's my shirt. I gave that shirt to Ryan.
Yeah, it's my shirt.
But you can get it for like $13.88 at Target right now. So
We miss you, Rob.
yeah. Rob just got a promotion.
And
I
congrats
know,
to Rob.
congrats. He's
Mhm.
great.
I almost texted him today, but I thought,
You should have.
no, I want to wait till he happens to log on to this stream tonight.
What's happening here? What are these comments? So Tony says, so we watch on the 97.1 Facebook page and then go over there. Now you can just keep watching here if you want, because when I take over, it's going to just be the I'm going to talk with Mark for like a minute or two, and then it's just going to be us. And I'm just going to move this sitting next to that computer so that you can stay right where you are, unless you want to stream two things at once. But who does that other than me right now?
You know what I would be
Sarah.
interested to see is if one of them is streaming faster than the other. If you tune in side by side, let us know if for some reason you're hearing one
Yeah.
better or quicker or
Yeah, because we're using the same platform. We're just using it in different locations.
Rob says, ... Thanks.
In at work and very jealous of our drinks and relaxed look. You're working, Sasha. Are you going to be able to listen to the debate? Because a reminder, if you're here with us during the debate, you're going to be watching us watch the debate, and you're going to be commenting what you think, and we're going to be reading your comments, and we'll probably be like vocally bursting out from time to time, especially if Ryan keeps topping off the whiskey slush that he puts in his cup with more whiskey to
I can
just.
almost guarantee you that I'm already feeling it. But I don't know because I might be feeling it.
How did you guys start? This is so great.
This is
Sorry, you
amazing.
guys.
This is the future of the country in the hands of people. Hey, who's that?
Hey, got those just in time for the pandemic, y'all.
Yeah, we ordered these and we had to go through like 7 meetings of
Budget meetings.
explaining how we were going to utilize these to validate the $130 that we spent on these. We've got one of Mike Bloomberg. I don't know what we're going to do with that. What does one do with one of those? I don't really know what to do with this
We've
guy.
got all the
Scared
Democrats. We've got Elizabeth Warren. Biden, of course, is right over there. Who else are we missing?
Mike Pence. I have Mike Pence.
Oh, Mike Pence.
I took Mike Pence and Donald Trump and Joe Biden home because I felt like those were the ones who were.
Gosh, I think we might have Amy Klobuchar. I
Yeah.
think we have her.
We have Bloomberg. Did Buttigieg
We didn't
drop
have
out
that.
right before that?
Yep.
I think he did.
Yep, and so
But
did
they
Cory
all
Booker.
dropped out in like the same week, and that was the week we ordered it.
Okay, so we're getting close to showtime over here, so I'm gonna shift. Who's that?
Oh, that's Charlemagne.
Charlemagne, the God.
You ain't black. Oh my God! If Trump would have said that,
And Charlemagne should have pressed him on that. That's
I think he was probably shocked. I have been in a position where people have said really crazy things on my show, and I've been like, but you know, what's the repercussion of that being done on my show versus Charlemagne the God? There's Mike Pence. You see him over there?
Yeah.
He's got a sweatshirt on. All right, let's pull this. Sorry for the up close and personal shot there. Okay, so we're right next to each other.
Okay.
And the other remote? Here? Here? Oh, you know what? I need to get headphones real quick. Hold on. If they transfer over, we'll be here.
Yeah, we'll be here. And
We'll be
like,
here.
I don't know. Back to you, Tim Jones.
Panic. All right. All right. No, I'm closing personal. Sorry for that. All right. Because now I can hear them.
Ah.
And because we're going to have to do a handoff.
Okay. I'm gonna be doing a Chuck Berry duck walk behind you.
Oh, here we go. Okay, bring Annie.
Oh wait. Oh, wait.
You should put your face up there.
Okay.
You should get
Okay.
super close. Just like there you go. You can.
We're in.
Do they know what's coming or not?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. You're gonna know when I know.
Okay. I mean, they can't
Get
see us
closer.
backstage. Okay.
Yeah, they can. They
Oh,
can
they
see it.
Okay.
Like we can. I'm sure.
Look at this.
Hey, you guys! It's me, Annie. We're not drinking yet.
It seems. Yeah, they're all. I let them come into my basement. Katie's wearing Mickey leggings. Ryan thinks he's Captain America. Look at this shirt here. What do you guys think? I want Wainwright Molina 2021 so that they come back and play next year. Get it together.
The amount of pressure that she is putting on them right now is unbelievable. They're gonna sign just because of that.
Oh, or not, you know. No, it's PG-13. There's a. We tuned in and we go, Tim's on the roof. What's he doing on the roof? Don't jump. It'll be fine. That's where they put you? We need you to go far away. No, a little bit further. Up the stairs. That's good. So we are here. We've got some, can you guys hand me the other one here? Just in case you don't know who the players are. This is Pete Buttigieg, and he thinks that Joe Biden, this is Donald Trump, and here's the other, these are the two players. And we're gonna see him fight. What's gonna happen? Do you guys think that do you think Trump's gonna be mean? Do you think he's gonna be bully Trump? Or do you think that he's gonna go easy on Joe? Because my fear is that bully Trump won't get any more votes than he's already got right now. And nobody likes to watch someone beat up on an old man. Same. And that's Mike Pence. I do see your, why do you have a bird? Birds do fly away when they're close to humans. What's its name? I was expecting like Shmee or something. That's a very normal name for a bird. You guys, Ryan Wiggins is in my basement right now. I should have put a time limit on this.
I wasn't invited, but the back door was open.
He's over my shoulder. Well, you guys, I can't wait to watch the debate tonight. I know you guys are going to be watching it. We're doing a live debate watch party from our basement, and we've got people watching right now on our YouTube page and our Periscope page and on the Annie Fry Show page. And I know that you guys are going to be watching, so I want to tell everybody, make sure you follow. Are you going to be tweeting, Mark? Are you going to how are you going to get your thoughts and feelings out here? Other than just yelling really loud. Yeah? What about you? Trisha, Denise, are you going to watch the whole thing, take in every minute of it, or? Right? Yeah, that's what you got to do. Mom duty calls. What about you, Trisha? No, we're probably going to tell you to keep going because we're going to be laughing over here together. Tim, are you watching at the station? Oh my gosh. Oh, so are you locked out?
Yeah.
Oh, don't act like it's not possible. Yeah. Somebody's got to be. Good grief. Well, you guys, I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for handing it off here. Yes, the other side. All right. Hey, look at Katie back there. Somebody wanted to know how long it was going to take for her to get medium drunk. And Ryan said, well, I'm there. So
a long time.
My tolerance is very, very low.
It's about there.
Like, I'm already feeling it a little bit when I do this. Whoa.
All I remember my first drink. All right, predictions for what's going to happen tonight. Katie, is Donald Trump going to be bully Trump, or is he going to be maybe more measured and based in cold hard facts as opposed to the attitude?
I would hope that he's going to. I would hope that he is going to be a little bit more measured and take that approach. I think right now the people that are tuning in and the people that might not know a lot about what's going on politically, although that seems hard. It feels like everybody knows everything now. But the people that are tuning in and watching this debate to see and to gauge who they might be voting for, I think Trump needs to take a very measured approach and not just come out of the gate swinging. Although I have a feeling there will be nicknames. There will be nicknames.
Do you remember when Trump would make like 80% of the gifts that are out there from Trump are faces he was making during the debates?
Oh yeah.
When people were talking crap on him or saying stupid things and he was going,
Yeah.
that is a huge portion of internet meme of Trump comes from these debates because he's making these faces on screen while the other person is talking. I wonder if he'll do that to Joe Biden because he's never had to face off with somebody who's so similar to him, where there wasn't there was a real narrative that existed, like the way Trump is going to treat a woman on stage.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be different, but it definitely does become a factor. Now he's got to deal with somebody who's just a year or two older than him, but seems way older.
I think he might pity Biden a little bit, and he didn't really feel that way about Hillary. I think that he looked at Hillary as a criminal
because you'd be in jail.
Yeah, and he's my.
I think this is going to be the opposite, since we're getting ready to start here, and we've been calling this like the Super Bowl of political events. I think this is going to be the opposite of an actual Super Bowl, though, where they come out and they are so hyped that sometimes they're even making errors because they're so full of adrenaline and ready to go. I just, for some reason, think this is going to be the opposite of that, where they come out and it's actually kind of cool. Like they're both a little dry to start and they kind of work into it.
Yeah, work their way up.
Yeah.
I think that my hope is that there are a few solid haymakers that Trump knows he wants to throw. And I think that he already knows how he's going to work them in. They know what the subjects are. So he already knows when the Hunter Biden story comes into play. Oh, we haven't even talked about this freaking ridiculous story that came out at 2:55 p.m. And
they timed it at the end of your show.
Yeah,
because we would have been all over it, but
Dave
now
Glover
it's going to be old news by
them
tomorrow.
To make all the good announcements during his show, and it's frustrating. Okay, let's see. Let me read you this disclosure that has come out here. This is from the Director of National Intelligence. And if the other folks already did this, I apologize, but this is a really, as Joe Biden would say, it's a big effing deal, just like the Affordable Care Act. This is from the desk of John Ratcliffe, who is the Director of National Intelligence, to a letter to Lindsey Graham, who is in charge of the Senate Intel Committee. Or here, this one. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
Hold the volume down. All right. This is an actual, I'm just going to show this to you if you can read it. This is the actual letter that was sent. Chairman Graham, in response to your request for intelligence community information related to the FBI's Crossfire Hurricane investigation, I have declassified the following. Now, there are 3 bullet points here, and I'm going to read them to you. Hold on a second. I'm going to change this real quick. All right. In late July 2016, so remember, that's during the election season. That would be like this past July at that time during the election season. In late July 2016, U.S. intelligence agencies obtained insight into Russian intelligence analysis alleging that U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton had approved a campaign plan to stir up a scandal against U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump by tying him to Putin and the Russians' hacking of the Democratic National Committee. The IC, that's the intelligence community, the IC does not know the accuracy of this allegation or the extent to which the Russian intelligence analysis may reflect exaggeration or fabrication. Next bullet point. According to his handwritten notes, former CIA Director Brennan subsequently briefed President Obama and other senior national security officials on the intelligence including the, quote, alleged approval by Hillary Clinton on July 26, 2016, of a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal claiming interference by Russian security services, end quote. Third bullet point. On 7 September 2016, U.S. intelligence officials forwarded an investigative referral to FBI Director James Comey and Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence Peter Strzok regarding, quote, U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's approval of a plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server. As referred in his 24 September 2020 letter to your committee, Attorney General Barr has advised that the disclosure of this information will not interfere with the ongoing Department of Justice investigations. Additional declassification and public disclosure of related intelligence remains under consideration. However, the IC welcomes the opportunity to provide a classified briefing with further detail at your convenience. This is a really, really big deal, folks. The allegation is that in July of 2016, the intelligence community was tipped off that allegedly Hillary Clinton was working with Russia to set up a scandal to distract you and me from her email scandal.
Working with Russia to create the illusion that Trump was working with Russia.
And,
right?
and trying to frame a presidential candidate to make it look like, I don't know, an insurance policy maybe? To make it look like Donald Trump was doing something he completely wasn't. And the name here, Peter Strzok, is a really, really big deal because Peter Strzok was in charge of the Russia investigation with Trump, and Peter Strzok was in charge with the Hillary Clinton email scandal as well. They prioritized one over the other. And this declassification by John Ratcliffe is mind-blowing. When I read this, we were in the middle of a post-show meeting with our boss. And I was like, what? And I read them what I saw in the tweet. I'm like, this seems like this is a really, really big deal. John Solomon was reporting on it. He did a really good job of it too. Oh my gosh. Like, again, I go back to the point that the only thing standing between us and a future in this country is an honest media. Because the media is the one who's supposed to be reporting on these things. Like, if Donald Trump is the first person to talk about this, if Donald Trump is the first person to bring this to people's attention, are people on the other side going to give it any consideration?
Do you hope he doesn't bring it up tonight?
I hope Chris Wallace does.
Yeah. Do you think he will?
This whiskey's really good. Maybe he should. I mean, he should. But it's just the problem. They have done so much to really box him in as this caricature of a politician that he's not. I mean, I'm not saying he's perfect. He's not a flawless dude, but he's not who they say he is. And if he has faults, they're not highlighting his faults. I mean, like, the faults that he has are not nearly as bad as what they've accused him of being from the very beginning. He has not served a day in office without a significant portion of this country thinking he stole this election from them with the help of Russia. And in July of 2016, the intelligence community was aware that the Hillary Clinton campaign was trying to put something together to make it so that those people believe that. I mean, I've only been alive for 36 years, but I don't know of a bigger scandal than that. That's her trying to steal the election. And the accusation towards Donald Trump is that he was trying to steal the election. Like, the big sin here was that he was undermining the democratic process.
Yeah, and a lot of people were stupid enough to believe that he was doing that. I mean, a lot of people believed because of his personality and because of what the media made him out to be, that he was the person actually stealing the election. And they still believe it to this day. They still believe that somehow Donald Trump is going to steal the election.
I think it's worse than that. I think there's people that repeat this knowing that it's false.
Yeah.
I mean, over and over and over, because they're just like, well, that's the narrative. People will believe it if we say it enough. And so let's just keep saying it.
And they need it to be true because they hate Trump that bad. And it's more important that you hate Trump than it is that you're trusted with the truth, the real information, so that you can then make a decision for yourself. Elitists don't trust you with facts. They believe they have to find out what the facts are and prepackage them, dispose of the unnecessary or the unhelpful things to their agenda, and then they give you whatever is left, whatever serves their purpose. And that's un-American. Like, we are the ones who are in charge here. These people who are running for president, they're catering to us. They are there to work for our vote. We are not there to serve them. They serve us. And when you look at Joe Biden and when you look at Donald Trump and you see they identify problems, a lot of the problems they'll agree exist. But what they do in the process is they tell you, this is how I would solve the problem. Joe Biden's answer, listen to him tonight. Joe Biden's answer to solving all of these problems is going to be in the government. His solution to every problem that we have right now, healthcare, education, tax funding, COVID, he believes that bigger government run by the right people, the smart people, Joe Biden, he believes that's the solution to the future of this country. What Donald Trump is going to say is that you're the solution to the problems, that giving you the freedom that you inherently have in this country that you don't have in other countries, that's special to America, that you're the solution to the problem. And when you understand that main difference between Democrats and Republicans, we agree on the problem, but the arrival to the solution is a huge departure from one another. The Democrats are always going to say, you need me for this problem to go away. And Republicans, if they're doing it right, conservatives are going to say, we need you, the people, to solve these problems. And that's hugely important. Trust me. When government starts to solve your problems, they take a lot more of your money and the problems get worse. Just look at the state of Illinois. How's your cup? Did you ease up?
The cup that I was drinking from that I don't see around me now?
I think it's up on the bar.
All right, Katie, predictions?
God.
Katie, how you feeling?
I'm really excited. We have 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 minutes.
Oh, it's on 5 seconds!
It's not prepared. I'm just very giddy. I'm excited to see who gets the first question. I'm excited to see their demeanor. I can't wait to hear Chris Wallace, like what he's going to say.
Hi, I'm Chris Wallace, and I'm the best.
I really hope people that are my age are, hi, Jared.
Here's the man of the
man of
cooking
the
hour. I thought you were going to change.
I was, but I'm getting 3 kids ready for bed.
Kids.
Oh, isn't he the best?
He's great. He is great.
Hey, speaking of, can they come down and tell you good night?
Yeah, but they got to hurry. They have 4 minutes and 22, 21,
We're trying
20.
to time it out. So that
You guys want to see my kids? Are they clothed?
Yes, they're all bathed.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm using that.
Okay.
They're bathed?
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh. So because the universe is
on it.
cruel, tomorrow is picture day. So these pictures might turn out pretty amazing.
They're going to be great. The picture's going to be wonderful.
We should
That's
take a
the
picture of
person-
us at 10 tonight.
I'm going to be on with Tony Colombo at 10:05 on 97.1. And a reminder, if you're watching us on your phone or whatever, and if you're at work and you're listening, you can listen to the whole debate on 97.1 FM. You can stream it at radio.com, I assume, right? The streaming is not any different.
Mhm. You're going to be able to hear it streaming on radio.com.
And you can join us on the Annie Fry YouTube page. A lot of you folks are already doing this. We got 383 people watching over here. That is so amazing. We are grateful for that. You can go to the Annie Fry YouTube page. Please go consider subscribing there. And you can watch us there. And we're going to watch this together. And we're going to live react to it. So
I have a question for the stream.
Yeah.
Since we're almost out of time. I feel a little bit nervous, a little bit less nervous than I did before drinking this whole cup.
wait, you
but-
feel less or more?
Less. No, I feel better.
That's,
I feel
that's
really
good.
good.
I feel great. So it's fine.
Right.
But my question is, if you're paying attention tonight, you're probably really into this debate as much as we are. Do you feel nervous? Because to me, what we're watching, according to the polls, 30% of people are watching this because they want to let it influence their decision.
Who are those people?
I'm not saying that it's going to sway them away from their party
It's
one way or
our,
another.
but it's our girl,
She
Dana
is.
Perino. Every time Dana
And
Perino's on,
lime green.
Katie and I was like, look at Dana. She's so
Lime
pretty.
There's Chris Wallace.
But it's an hour and a half, and you know that the future of the nation's at stake. Like it's such
No
a
big deal.
huge freaking deal.
Yep. All right. We are going to let you folks on, you turn that down just a little bit so it doesn't pick up on the copyright, on the 97.1 FM Talk Facebook page. Thank you for watching so much. If you want to continue to watch with us, go over to the Annie Fry Show Facebook page or the Annie Fry YouTube page. I'm going to hug my kids and kiss them goodnight, and we're going to continue to watch over here, and then I'm going to get myself another drink, and I'm going to finish my chili. So thank you guys for watching. Hop on over there and watch with us on the other stream. You say good night, folks.
Oh, okay.
I love you. Close that. Good night. Love you.
Jensen has a surprise for you. Great. Come on, Jensen.
Where is it? What is it?
Oh,
Yay!
you guys made cookies!
Cookies.
Oh,
All
my
right.
gosh,
Yum,
you guys
those look good.
rock!
Chocolate chip and Reese's Pieces.
Oh my god, you
Yum.
guys rock! You guys are the best. Thank you.
We just made them.
Thank you.
Right out of
Kids
Love
of the year. Yeah,
Watch out.
yeah.
Good night,
Yeah,
kiddos.
fried kids. Okay, I'm not gonna get you wound up.
Thank you, dear.
Charlie,
All right.
did you tell everybody good night?
Thank you so much.
It's time to go upstairs, bud.
All right.
Good
So
night,
we're going
Charlie.
to.
Thank you for the cookies, brother.
I had that same basketball hoop at that
Oh
same
my
age.
gosh.
Oh, you know, look at the trumps.
They took their masks off.
Is that Kimberly Guilfoyle?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Ex-wife of Gavin Newsom.
Ooh.
Katie, are you joining us?
Cookie first, then Jensen. Evelyn gets
Here,
first
I'll
pick
take this
first,
one.
then
Oh, there's
Jensen.
Ivanka.
Evelyn gets first pick.
All right, you guys. It's go time. Are you excited?
I'll go this way.
Oh my gosh.
I'll go this way.
Jensen specifically picked Reese's Pieces
That's
because
so
she thought it would look
sweet.
like
Do
fall
it.
colors. Annie.
Send Rob my address. I mean, you show up, Rob. You're allowed to. You come over.
Jensen specifically picked the Reese's Pieces because they'd be your fall colors.
Oh,
So sweet. They
Look
look
at
They're
them.
still a little. They're
delicious.
They
still a
are
little warm,
still
I think.
warm
I'm gonna grab one while warm.
and soft. Is this it? This is not the right remote.
Annie declares this recipe the best cookies ever.
So good.
Can you hand me that remote, please? You guys, it's time. It's time. We're doing this. Oh. All right, so I can't have the Jacob Masick says anyone but Rob. Aw, Jacob, hi. How are you? Good to have you here. Man, it's on. Drinking the whiskey slush with some stumpies. Did you go for the honey or the lemon still?
I think I'm still in the lemon.
Are you still doing honey?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's honey. I think it's honey all day.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Ooh, this Trumpster France says hi there from Haiti.
Wow. Hi.
Yes, we're going global, folks. Brandy says, oh my gosh, why am I nervous? We know.
We know why. Because we're nervous. Can you imagine? I have a feeling that Donald Trump isn't not nervous, but he's nothing compared to what Biden's got to be right now.
Right.
Yeah, Donald Trump is made for this.
Here we go.
All right, I'm going to turn this up a little bit more. If something happens and we get kicked off because of copyright, I will go live again. Chances are we'll be more likely to get kicked off on Facebook, but just come back and we'll be back on. How's anybody eating the cookies yet?
That was so good. I ate my whole time. It's awesome.
And tonight is the night for one of the most highly anticipated presidential debates in history.
The candidates are at their marks backstage.
This is gonna be tough,
And
Andy.
moderator, our own Chris Wallace,
What?
is about to
It's
get things
slower.
underway.
Oh, I can fast
Can't
forward it.
say or overstate the importance of this moment. If you look at the race overall,
I think that you might have to do that every once in a while.
Dividing us when we look at coronavirus.
I still
whoever
haven't
is the
finished
president for
my-
the next 5
I'm telling you what,
years,
that's a
it's
good
an
pair of
opportunity,
people.
hopefully, to see us out of that, to try to stimulate this economy again, the unemployment numbers, try to get things moving.
What if you're Chris Wallace? Are you nervous if you're Chris Wallace? Or
No.
you've done this enough to not be nervous?
I don't know.
Like I said earlier today,
I
I
don't know.
think he's like, I'm made for this. What are you talking about? Just like Trump.
So is anyone nervous besides Biden then?
Yeah, no. Is anybody watching on anything other than Fox? Just another
Yeah,
question.
tell us where you watch. I
Yeah.
know some of you have done that already, but
Oh, I didn't realize that Chris had a teleprompter right there.
fewer people here in the
Ah,
audience, from about 900 to about roughly 100.
do you have multiple drinks?
Uh-huh. I saw 2 glasses.
So if you're not able to see this, there's a stage. It's a pretty nice looking stage. They're not going to come out and shake hands or fist bump or anything like that. They're going to keep them themselves. 2 podiums. They're supposed to stand the whole time, and it's supposed to be 90 minutes. So we'll see how Trump and Biden both obviously do standing for this. There's a big blue background with like stars across the top, but I don't see
Oh,
any flags. Chris Wallace just got the cue. Maybe he's waiting for the cue. Chris Wallace, here's your cue.
Chris Wallace, front side.
Oh, hey, there he is.
oh wait. Oh wait. Uh oh.
He's gonna look back on that. He's waiting for his cue and he's got it, but he doesn't realize it.
And the Cleveland Clinic. I'm Chris Wallace of Fox News.
And I'm a badass.
He's so patient with everything that he says. It's so great.
And former Vice President Joe Biden. This debate is sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debate.
If I stump these,
The commission has designed
That's not true.
6 roughly 15-minute segments with 2-minute answers from each candidate to the first question, then open discussion for the rest of each segment. Both campaigns have agreed to these rules. For the record, I decided the topics and the questions in each
OANN,
topic. I can assure
Fox
you,
2.
none of the questions have been shared with the commission
Fox 2.
or the two candidates.
it's Fox.
This debate is being conducted under health and safety protocols designed
Yeah, we
by
know.
the Cleveland Clinic, which is serving as the health security advisor to the commission for all 4 debates.
This is what I was concerned about.
Both campaigns have
What?
agreed
The health of the candidates and
will not shake hands at the beginning of tonight's
whether they were to shake hands.
Just so that you guys all watching here know, I temperature checked Ryan and Katie before they came in. Be good. I'm not gonna tell you how I temperature checked them because that would be intrusive to their.
I thought the
Personal
full
health?
body scan was a little weird.
Me too.
As we welcome the Republican nominee,
Oh.
President Trump.
Yeah.
Nominee, Vice President Biden.
Okay.
Oh, there's
Okay.
a Biden mask directly behind Chris Wallace. Joe Biden walks out and looks at Trump and goes, "Well, like, imagine you being here."
He's already playing that card. He's already playing.
Gentlemen, a lot of people have been waiting for this night, so let's get
Oh my
going.
gosh, here we go.
The Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
President Trump, you nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the court. You say the Constitution is clear about your obligation and the Senate to consider a nominee to the court. Vice President Biden, you say that this is an effort by the president and Republicans to jam through an appointment and what you call an abuse of power. My first question to both of you tonight: why are you right in the argument you make, and your opponent wrong? And where do you think a Justice Barrett would take the court? President Trump in the first segment.
So Trump's going to comment on his nomination of Amy Coney Barrett.
I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences. We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all, top academic, good in every way, good in every way.
Trump's wearing his
In fact,
signature
some
navy
of
suit
the
with a
nominees
navy tie with
in
red
this
stripes
race are very liberal people.
and a flag.
From
Ryan,
Maryland,
you called it, dude.
so I think
He's
we did
very,
fantastic. We have
very
plenty of time.
skilled, very measured.
We did it after
Give him
the
time.
election itself. I have a lot of
I'm already ready for it to ramp up.
I know you guys are commenting about being able to hear. I can't, if I turn up the volume too much, we'll get dinged for copyright. So you should, if you want to watch this on your preference or whatever and keep us on the background, we're not going to talk during the whole thing. We're just going to make comments as they come up.
And we just we won the election, and therefore we have the right to choose her. And
He just said he gets Amy Coney Barrett
because
because they won the election.
Otherwise, and by the way, the Democrats, they wouldn't even think about not doing it. If they had their differences, they try to do it faster.
Fact. He's saying if the Democrats were in this position, they'd do it faster. There's no way they would.
The problem is they didn't have the election, so they were stopped. And probably that would happen in reverse also. Definitely would happen in reverse. So we won the election, and we have the right to do it, Chris.
Simple,
Thank you.
straightforward.
Same question to you, Vice President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, thank you for doing this. Looking forward to this, Mr. President. The American people have a right to have a say in who the Supreme Court nominee is. And that say occurs when they vote for a United States senator and when they vote for the President of the United States. They're not going to get that chance now because we're in the middle of an election already. The election has already started.
They look odd side by side.
I think it should happen. We should wait. Wait and see what the outcome of this election is. Because that's the only way the American people get to express their view is by who they elect as president and who they elect as vice president. Now, what's at stake here is the president made it clear he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act.
What?
He ran on that and he voted on it.
This is going to be something he pushes on big time.
Over
Every
and
time, every
over.
opportunity
Yeah.
he gets.
The Affordable Care Act.
The Affordable Care Act, he's basically saying he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. That's why he nominated Amy Coney Barrett.
Insurance, health insurance now, if it goes in court. And
We should do that. Drink every time he goes to Affordable Care.
Ooh, that's a good one.
She seems like a very fine person.
You asked if I had a futon? That's a futon.
She went to bench, which is her right, and she thinks that the Affordable Care Act is not constitutional. The other thing is on the court, and if it's struck down, what happens? Women's rights are fundamentally changed. Once again, a woman could be held for money because she has a pre-existing condition of pregnancy.
Dude looks like a wolf waiting to pounce,
I
man.
know. He's so intense. Trump is so
Trump.
intense.
And that ended when we in fact passed the Affordable Care Act. And there's 100 million
He's so
people-
intense. Trump is just like
and they're-
a hairy eyeball.
We're
This is
streaming
what's
this through my Roku YouTube TV app, so it's very possible you guys might be a little bit ahead of us. So maybe you can alert us to any big things that are coming. But
This election, if he wins the election and the Senate is Democrat or Republican, then he goes forward. If not, we should wait until February.
because it's better for you.
Many people with pre-existing conditions. As far as the say is concerned, the people already had their say. Okay, Justice Ginsburg said very powerfully, very strongly, at some point, 10 years ago or so, she said a president and the Senate is elected for a period of time, but a president's elected for 4 years. We're not elected for 3 years. I'm not elected for 3 years. So we have the Senate, we have a president elected to the next. During that period of time,
Trump is
we
super
have an opening.
Calm.
I'm not elected
Calm.
for 3 years. I'm elected for 4 years.
Does that show maturity? Does that show?
that shows command
Strategy.
and not emotion.
Yeah.
Is that you're going to extinguish 180 million people with their private health care that they're very certainly not.
Barb says bull poop.
We're now into open discussion. Yes, I agree. That had Vice President. Number one, he knows that what I propose. What I propose is that we expand Obamacare and we increase it. We do not wait any. And one of the big debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win the nomination that I won were saying that Biden wanted to allow people to have private insurance still. They can.
I think
They do.
Biden
They
had
will.
Botox done.
Not what you said. It's not what our party has said. Is simply party doesn't say your party wants to go socialist. The party is socialist right now. I am. And they're going to dominate you, Joe. You know that. I am the Democratic Party right now.
What did he say?
They're gonna dominate you.
You know that.
In fact, approved of. What I approved of. Now here's the deal.
Biden
The deal is
has
that
not looked at
it's
Trump.
gonna wipe out
Unless I
pre-existing-
missed
and
that.
By the way, the 200 million, the 200,000
Uh-oh.
people that have died.
He's doing numbers. Ruh-roh.
How many of those have survived?
Didn't he just say
Whoa,
200
whoa,
million?
what?
What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the
200 million.
Joe, you've had 308,000 military people die because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me about happy to talk about. And if you were here, it would be 200. It would be 2 million people because you were very late on the draw. You didn't want me to ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban. All right, we're gentlemen. Which was heavily infected. You would have been much later, Joe. Mr. President, Mr. President. You're talking about 2 million people.
Mr. President, as a moderator, we are going to talk about COVID in the next segment, but go ahead.
Let me.
Why do we keep deferring back to Joe?
I don't know.
Let Trump say what he needs to
Yeah,
say.
and Trump let Biden speak.
That's on the ballot as well in the court. And so that's also at stake right now. And so the election is all. You don't know it's on the ballot. Why is it on the ballot? Because. Why is it on the ballot? It's not on the ballot. It's on the ballot in the court. I don't think so. In the court. There's nothing happening there. I don't know her view on Roe v. Wade. I don't know.
He literally just said, Donald, will you be quiet for a minute? No, that's your president, honey.
We got
Boo-boo.
lots to unpack here, Jeff. We got a lot of time. So, on healthcare, and then we'll come back to Roe v. Wade.
All right.
Mr. President,
Erica says-
the Supreme Court will hear a case
The reason I watch tonight to see how many people die in Joe's statistics. Hold on, Eric.
Are seeking to overturn Obamacare, to end Obamacare. You have spent the last because they want to give good health care. If I may ask that question, sir. Good health care. Over the last 4 years, you have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare, but you have never in these 4 years come up with a plan, a comprehensive plan
That's
to
not true.
replace Obamacare.
Listen,
Well, I'll
got rid of the individual mandate.
I'm going to give you an
Excuse me,
opportunity.
I got rid of the
Yeah, but Chris, you're making
individual
assertions that aren't
mandate,
true.
which
Not a comprehensive
That
plan.
is absolutely a big thing. That was the worst part of
Chris,
that was the worst part of Well, I'll ask Joe. The individual mandate was the most unpopular.
I didn't see the biggest debate happening between Trump and Chris Wallace.
And I would like you to
And
let
I'm the
me ask
president
my
of the United
question,
States.
and then you can answer. Go ahead. You, in the course of these 4 years, have never come up with a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare. And just this last Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump healthcare plan?
Well, first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him.
Fact! Good line.
There's nothing symbolic.
I guess I'm debating. Joe's just amused.
Nations, which no president has the courage to do what you're doing against Big Pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period in government, but you didn't do it. Nobody's done it. So we're cutting healthcare. All of the
Uh-oh,
things
here we
that
go.
we've done, insulin. I give you an
Chris.
example. Insulin. It is destroying families, destroying people because I'm getting it for so cheap. It's like water. You want to know the truth? So cheap. All of the drugs that what we're doing, prescription drug prices, we're going to allow our governors now to go to other countries to buy drugs because they pay just a tiny fraction.
This is open discussion.
No,
Let me
but
ask
this
you,
is big.
let me
This
you'll
is
be happy.
big stuff.
I said
Sir,
open discussion.
You'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the vice president, which is he points
I'm sure he'll
out
be happy.
that you would like to add a public option to Obamacare. And the argument that he makes, and other Republicans make, is that that is going to end private insurance. It is. And well, I'm sorry, asking the question. It will
Sorry.
end,
Sorry,
it will
Chris.
end
I know we didn't
private
discuss
insurance
this.
and create a government takeover of health.
It does not. It's only for those people who are so poor they qualify for Medicaid. They can get that free in most states, except governors who want to deny people
Hi,
who
Kara.
are poor Medicaid. Anyone who qualifies for Medicare with Medicaid will automatically be enrolled in the public option. The
Not
vast
too bad,
majority of the American
A couple
people will
flubs.
still not be in that option. Number one. So you agree with Bernie Sanders, the far left, on the manifesto, we call it. That gives you socialized medicine. Look, here, are you saying you didn't agree? The fact of the matter is,
I'm not gonna listen. Is it that easy?
I'm here standing facing you.
No, you're not. You haven't even looked
He
at
hasn't
him.
looked at him.
All he knows how to do is Tuesday. You got very lucky. Here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm here very lucky tonight as well.
Ooh,
And here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Jill.
The fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar. But I just want to make sure. I want to make sure. You were last in your class. First
Vintage.
He doesn't know how to do that. He has, you pick the wrong guy, the wrong night, the wrong time.
So we've descended.
Here's the deal. The whole idea, there is no manifesto. Number one. Number two. You just lost the left. Number two. You just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan.
Oh, Jaron?
Do you have any idea?
Jaron?
Socialized medicine. He is not
Look at Ryan.
for any help for people needing healthcare.
This is not good. No.
Has cost 10 million people their health care that they have from their employers because of his recession. Number one. Number two, there are 20 million people getting health care through Obamacare now, so he wants to take it away. He won't ever look you in the eye and say that's what he wants to do. Take it away. I want to get numbers for health care at a much lower price. And by the way, he doesn't know how to do that. He has never offered a plan. To an extent, he has never done a single thing. But probably does.
You're both speaking at the same time. Let the president, go ahead, sir.
Oh, this is the first let the president speak.
We made it better, and I had a choice to make very early on. We took away the individual mandate. We guaranteed pre-existing conditions, but took away the individual mandate. Listen, this is the way it is. And they destroyed. They shouldn't even call it Obama.
Does anyone else love when Trump does this?
Do I let my people run
His
it really
hands.
well
He's like,
or badly? If I
It's
run
like a
it badly,
blessing.
they'll probably blame him, but they'll blame me. But more importantly, I want to help people. Okay? I said, you got to run it so well. And I just had a meeting with them. They said the problem is no matter how well you run Obamacare, it's a disaster. It's too expensive. Premiums are too high. That it doesn't work. So we do want to get rid of it.
Man, what if we drank every time Joe Biden says look?
look, pal.
Let the vice president talk.
He has no plan for healthcare. Goes with this.
Rosina.
Please, he sends out wishful thinking. He has executive orders that have no power. He hasn't lowered drug costs for anybody. He's been promising the healthcare plan since he got elected. He has none, like almost everything else he talks about. He does not have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. And the fact is, this man doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right, I have one final question for you, Mr. Vice President. If Senate Republicans, we were talking originally about the Supreme Court here, if Senate Republicans go ahead and confirm Justice Barrett, there has been talk about ending the filibuster or even packing the court, adding to the 9 justices there. You call this a distraction by the president, but in fact, it wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues in the Congress. So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight
Hey, Jerry.
whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take in that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. You're in voting now.
Wow.
Vote and let your senators know.
Fuck
how
Pat.
you feel it. Vote now.
Trump's not gonna let
I'm
him.
not sure you, in fact, let people know you're a senator. I'm not going to answer the question. Because the
Ryan.
question is,
Nope.
Who is on your
Shut up, man.
This
Who's
is
on your
so,
left? Gentlemen?
this is so unprecedented.
He just said, "Shut up, man." They love
We're
it.
going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't
Ooh,
it? Yeah,
Chris, taking that
people
personally.
understand, Jeff. 47 years, you've done nothing. They understand.
All right. The second subject.
Keep yapping. That's what he
this
says.
is not an easy job for anybody.
So let's try to be serious about it. We have had more than 7 million cases of coronavirus.
This
in
is
the
the
United
debate, though.
States,
Like,
and
this
more
is
than
what I'm asking for, is for them
200,000
to,
Talk to each other.
yeah, talk to each other, counteract each other.
That's what it looks like.
a vaccine. Experts
Kelly
say
says
that it
Wallace
could
has lost
be
control.
months
Biden,
or even
keep
years
yapping, man.
before we come back to anything approaching normal. My question for both of you is, based on what you have said and done so far, and what you have said you
I
would
really
do
might get another
starting in
bowl of chili.
2021,
Please.
why
I really
should the
might.
American
Go.
people
So
trust
good.
you
Yeah.
more than
We need to get some whiskey to wash it down. Jimmy says Biden is confused and mad. Quote, shut up, man. Trump needs to slow
in
down.
this case? The question goes to you first, sir. 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Good luck.
To you.
200,000 dead. As you said, over
200,000?
7 million infected in the United States.
Not
We,
million.
in fact, have 5%, 4% of the world's population, 20% of the deaths.
Why is he looking down? Are they allowed to have notes?
Yeah, I think so.
Are
Sometimes they're
contracting
not.
COVID.
Like they can
In
make
addition to
notes
that,
during, but they're not allowed to bring
Between
notes?
750
Good
and
question. I don't know.
1,000 people, they're dying.
I have
Look
not
at
seen
something.
Trump look down once.
Because he knows his stuff.
What it is.
I know that probably.
So it is what it
drives
is
some
because
crazy
you
when you
are
say
who
that.
you are. That's why it is. The president has no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. He knew all the way back in February how
Which way
serious this crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do? He's on tape as
Was
acknowledging
the
he
other
knew it.
question
He said
also
he didn't
on
tell
the
us
lower
to give
third?
people
Did we?
warning of it
Yeah, I think
because
so.
he didn't
Well,
have
I
a
just
plan.
missed it.
You don't panic. He panicked. In addition to that, what did he do? He went in and we were insisting that the Chinese, the people we had on the ground in
The
China
who?
should be able to go to Wuhan.
That was one of
and
those
determine for
don't say the
themselves
Chinese
how
moments.
dangerous this was.
Say
He
the
did
people
not
of
even
China.
ask Xi to do that. He told us what a great job job she was doing. He said we owe him a debt of gratitude for being so transparent with us. And what did he do then? He then did nothing. He waited and waited and waited. He still doesn't have a plan. I laid out exactly
That's a gift.
what
Wrong.
we should be doing. And I laid out again in July what we should be doing. We should be providing all the protective gear possible. We should be providing the money the House has passed in order to be able to go out and get people the help they need to keep their businesses open schools. It costs a lot of money. You should get out of your bunker and get out of the sand trap and get in your golf course and go on the.
Get out of your bunker. You're the
Democrats and Republicans.
man who's been in your basement this whole time.
Yeah, that's
You're in the bunker.
So if we would have listened to you, have 2 minutes, sir. If we would have listened to you, the country would have been left wide open. Millions of people would have died, not 200,000. And one person is too much. It's China's fault. It should have never happened. They stopped it from going in, but it was China's fault. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count, just so you understand. But if you look at what we've done, I closed it, and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist, and he's xenophobic. Because you didn't think we should have closed our country. Wait a minute. You didn't think we should have closed our country because you thought it was terrible. You wouldn't have closed it for another 2 months. By my doing it early, in fact, Dr. Fauci said President Trump saved thousands of lives. Many of you Democrat governors said President Trump did a phenomenal job. We worked with the governor. Oh, really? Go take a look. The governors said I did a phenomenal job. Most of them said that. In fact, people that would not be necessarily on my side said that. President Trump did a phenomenal job. We did. We got the gowns. We got the masks. We made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators. And now we're weeks away from a vaccine. We're doing therapeutics already. Fewer people are dying when they get sick. Far fewer people are dying. We've done a great job. The only thing I haven't done a good job, and that's because of the fake news. No matter what you say to them, they give you bad press on it. It's just fake news. They give you good press. They give me bad press because that's the way it is, unfortunately. But let me just say something. I don't care. I've gotten used to it. But I'll tell you,
I don't care.
I never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job.
I know
Ooh.
how to do the job. I know how to get the job.
Well, you didn't do very well in swine flu. H1N1. You were a disaster. Your own chief of staff said you were a disaster.
14,000 people died, not 200,000. There was no
Very
economic recession.
You made a
There was no recession.
You made a point. Let him answer.
And we didn't shut down the economy. This is his economy. He shut down.
And you guys made him shut it down.
Oh, that's such.
No, and the state government kept saying that it's the state that gets to open it and close it. Just ask Andrew Cuomo in New York and JB freaking Britzker.
Where you lost your mom or dad and you couldn't even speak to them. You had a nurse holding the phone up.
Now it's Trump's
So you
economy.
That's Trump's
say
fault.
goodbye.
God.
That's far more people. Far more people.
And by the way,
am hating Joe Biden right now.
His own CDC director says we could lose as many as another 200,000 people between now and the end of the year. And he held up and he said, if we just wear a mask, we can save half those numbers. Just the mask. And by the way, in terms of the whole notion of a vaccine, we're for a vaccine, but I don't trust him at all. Nor do you. I know you don't.
That is endangering public health. That's bull crap for him to be saying that. He's talking out people out of potentially getting a vaccine because it's Trump's vaccine because he wants a vote. That's despicable.
You have repeatedly either contradicted or been at odds with some of your government's own top scientists. The week before last, the head of the Centers for
Trump is
Disease
so
Control, Dr.
used
Redfield,
to
said it
like
would be
working
summer
through
before
situations
the
that I think a
vaccine
lot of people
would
didn't think
become
he was going to do
generally
well with no audience.
to the
But
public.
he
You
does
said
he does a
that
press
he
briefing
was
almost every day now,
Mhm.
and there's no
Yeah.
audience to that.
That's what Andy said. Is a lot of times the president doesn't do well in the first debate, but he's never gotten to stop debating.
Yeah.
So
I've spoken to the companies and we can have it a lot
Yeah, that
sooner.
makes
It's
sense.
a very political thing because people like this would rather make it political than save lives. It is a very political thing. I've spoken to Pfizer. I've spoken to all of the people that you have to speak to. We have great Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and others. They can go faster than that by a lot. Become very political because the left, or I don't know if I call it
you're
left, I don't know
suggesting
what I
that
call
the
it.
head of your Operation Warp Speed, Dr.
I
Sami,
disagree with them. No, I disagree with both of them. He didn't say that. He said it could be there, but it could also be much sooner. I had him in my office 2 days ago.
He talked about the summer, sir, before it's generally available.
Because he said it's a possibility that we'll have the answer before November 1st. It could also be after
when it's
that.
generally available.
Well, we're going to deliver it right away. We have the military all set up logistically. They're all set up.
Stuart on YouTube says
military
Biden
that
is acting
delivers
more like a
soldiers,
lot
and
of
they
people
can do
think Trump acts,
200,000
and I
a
think
day.
that is a spot on assessment, Stuart.
The same man.
It's all set up. By Easter, this will be gone away. By the warm
Getting
weather,
to see
it'll be
Annie's
gone.
roots
Miraculous.
while she
Like
drunk scrolls
By the
is
way, maybe
cool.
you could inject some bleach in
This
her arm.
hair
That
has
would
not
take
been
care of it.
colored
This is
since
the same
2016,
sarcastic
folks.
idea that
This
I
gray
said
is all
sarcastic.
real.
So here's the deal. This man is talking about a vaccine. Every serious company is talking about maybe having a vaccine done by the end of the year. But the distribution of that vaccine will not occur until sometime beginning or the middle
At least
of
he's
next year.
freaking working on one.
If we get the vaccine, and pray God we will. Pray God we will.
Mr. Vice President, I want to pick up
We'll have the vaccine
I
sooner
want to pick up on this question, though. You say the public can trust the scientists, but they can't trust President Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed. Given the fact that polls already show that people are concerned about the vaccine and are reluctant to take it, are you and running mate Senator Harris contributing to that fear?
No, one of the question you just asked him. You pointed out he puts pressure and disagrees with his own scientists.
But you're saying you can't, Senator Harris is saying you can't trust the
No,
scientists.
well, no, you can't trust the scientists. She didn't say that. You can't trust.
She said the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed.
Well, yeah, that's what he's going to try to do. There's millions of scientists, thousands of scientists out there, like Great Hospital, that don't work for him. Their jobs don't depend on him. That's
Yeah, please.
very people. And by the way,
To the scientists that are in charge, they will
Can-
have the
Is there any
vaccine
water
very soon.
there? Can you see if there's any water left in the studio in the water thing?
what he's
You know,
telling
water it
you,
down
in
a
light
little
of all the lies he's told you about the whole issue relating to COVID. He still
I'm
hasn't
blaming
even
Barbara. She said, pass the
that he
slush. I need
knew
one. And I
this was
thought, yes, I
happening,
do.
knew how dangerous it was going to be back in February, and he didn't even tell you. He's on record as saying it. He panicked, or he just looked at the stock market. One of the two, because guess what? A lot of people die, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
Mr. President,
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated
Here we go.
either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever
Did
use
you
the
say
word
smart?
with me.
Let me pull out my card on that.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done
Let's
nothing.
have this debate.
And if you would have had, let me just tell you something, Joe. Now, if you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
See,
we're going to get the economy in the next segment, sir.
okay.
It's going up fast.
Okay. When it comes to how the virus has been handled so
Why did he just
far,
get cut off?
the two of you have taken very
Just
different
start talking about
approaches,
the
and this is going to affect how the virus is handled going forward by whichever of you ends up becoming the next president. I want to quickly go through several of those. Reopenings. Vice President Biden, you have been much more reluctant than President Trump about reopening the economy and schools. Why, sir?
Because he doesn't have a plan. If I were running, I know what the plan is. You've got to provide these businesses the ability to have the money to be able to reopen with the PPE as well as with the sanitation they need. You have to provide them plastic purchase. Well, he's just shush for a minute.
Ew! Can
Can I have that clip tomorrow?
Yes.
When
Yeah,
Brian's
just-
talking, I'm gonna say, well, can you just shut up for
Just shut.
I'm gonna title that drop, Brian.
He sits on his
He
golf
just
course.
shut
Well, you literally think about it. You probably think about it.
I do, Joe.
What about this question of reopenings and the fact
Well, he wants to shut down this country.
Oh.
And I want to.
Oh.
And we did it.
Doug wants to know, how are the whiskey slush going?
They're great.
For 1 second. He wants to shut down the country. We just went through it. We had to because we didn't know anything about the disease. Now we found that elderly people with heart problems and diabetes and different problems are very, very vulnerable. We learned a lot. Young children aren't. Even younger people aren't. We've learned a lot. But he wants to shut it down. More people will be hurt by continuing. If you look at Pennsylvania, if you look at certain states that have been shut down, they have Democrat governors all. One of the reasons they're shut down is because they want to keep it shut down until after the election. November 3rd. Because it's a political. But those states are not doing well that are shut down right now.
Respond to that. You have begun to increasingly question the effectiveness of masks as a disease preventer. And in fact, recently you have cited the issue of waiters touching their masks and touching plates. Are you questioning
No, I think
the
masks are
efficacy
okay.
of
You have to
masks?
understand, if you look, I mean, I have a mask right here. I put a mask on it, when I think I need it. Tonight, as an example, everybody's had a test and you've had social distancing and all of the things that you have to, but I wear masks when needed. When needed, I wear a mask.
Okay.
That's a good line.
I don't wear a mask like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask.
You can imagine him with a mask, like 6 feet wide.
Well, masks make a big difference. His own head of the CDC said if we just wore masks between now.
Jojo says, I decide when to wear a mask. I think a lot of Americans can agree with that right now.
100,000 lives. It matters. And they've also said the opposite.
Nobody knows.
No serious person said the opposite. No serious. Dr. Fauci said the opposite. He said very strongly, masks are not good. Then he changed his mind. He said,
That's good.
Because your different approaches have even affected the way that you have.
He changed his mind. He said, that's good. Whiskey's starting to get excited.
Outside, yes, sir. Agreed. Vice President Biden, you are holding much smaller.
Rob Kiefer says we should have invited Sue Thomas. She's always welcome. She's great.
In any case, why you holding the big rallies? Why you not? You go first, sir.
Because people want to hear what I have to say. I mean,
But you're not worried about
the president that I'll have 25, 35,000 people show up at airports. We use airports.
You're not worried about
We have a lot of people. Well, so far we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside. That's a big
Amen.
difference according to the experts. Tremendous crowds, as you see. I mean, and literally.
And every
24
single
hours
person
notice.
who's there
And
chose.
Joe does the circles and has 3 people sometimes.
By the way, one of the last big rallies he had, the reporter came up to him to ask him a question. He said, no, stand back. Put on your mask. Put on the mask. Have you been tested? I'm way far away from those other people. So that's what he said. I'm going to be okay. He's not worried about you. He's not worried about the people out there breathing in one another.
We've had no negative
Cheek to
effect.
jowl. No negative effect.
We've had no negative effect.
Yeah,
We've
Biden
had
wants you to live in
40
fear
people.
because he can monetize it.
Because I want to move on to our next.
Yes, I would. He's been totally irresponsible the way in which he has handled the social distancing and people wearing masks, basically encouraging them not to. All right, then he's a fool.
If you could get the crowds, you would have done the same thing, but you can't. Nobody can.
Gentlemen, can we move on to the next, gentlemen?
Angela says, I forgot I had frozen rum punch in my freezer. I'm inspired.
Recovering faster than expected from the shutdown. In the second quarter, the unemployment rate fell to 8.4% last month. The Federal Reserve says the hit to growth, which is going to be there, is not going to be nearly as big as they had expected. President Trump, you say we are in a V-shaped recovery.
So wonderful.
Vice President Biden, you say it's more of a K-shape. What difference does that mean to the American
K-shape?
people in terms of?
He just thought we were picking letters. It's his favorite.
I pick
So we
K.
built the greatest.
It's like
economy in
Sesame
history.
Street.
We closed it down because of the China
Today's letter is
and the Ford
K.
came in, We closed it down, which was very hard psychologically to do.
Are
We
you
didn't
talking
think we
about
should
cursive
close it
letters,
down. It
Chris?
was wrong.
It's
And-
cursive
and
letters.
They're so,
2
then I
million
pick a-
people would be dead now.
Z.
F.
Z for risotto.
1,000 people is too much. One person is too much. Should have never happened from China. But what happened is we closed it down and now we're reopening and we're doing record business. We had 10.4 million people in a 4-month period that we've.
Look out. Here comes economy, Trump.
It's a record the likes of which nobody's ever seen before.
The likes of which nobody has ever seen
He will
before.
shut it down again. He will destroy this country. You know, a lot of people between drugs and alcohol and depression, when you start shutting it down, you take a look at what's happening in some of your Democrat-run states where they have these.
Do Illinois.
And I'm telling you, it's because they don't want to open it. One of them came out last week.
I
You
mean-
saw that. Oh, we're going to open up on November 9th. Why November 9th? Because it's after the election. They think they're hurting us by keeping them closed. They're hurting people.
Pam says, Annie Fry, every time you pick up your drink, I cheers you back.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want, but they got to open these states up. When you look at North Carolina, when you look at these governors are under siege.
This might be some of the best stuff he's saying right here.
And a couple of others.
He's
You gotta
got
open
a
the
full
states
command
up.
of the
It's
facts and
not fair.
information.
You're talking about almost it's like being in prison. And you look at what's going on with divorce, look at what's going on with alcoholism and drugs. It's a very, very sad thing. And he'll close down the whole country. This guy
He
will
said he
close down
would.
The whole country.
He said he'd shut down the
Our
economy again.
country is coming back incredibly well, setting records as it does it. We don't need somebody to come in and say, let's shut it down.
All right, your 2 minutes, sir. We're now moved to you.
We're kind of landing in a rhythm here.
The president says it's a V-shaped recovery. You say it's a K-shaped recovery. What's the difference?
What the hell is that?
Millionaires and billionaires like him.
Oh, here we go.
COVID crisis.
Isn't Joe Biden a millionaire?
Yeah.
Another billionaires have made number $300 billion because of his profligate tax proposal, and you only focus on the market. But you folks at home, you folks living in Scranton and Claymont and all the small
Joe is
towns and
reportedly worth $9 million currently, so I don't think you get to throw him like you're with us. I have like $8 in my checking account. Let's not pretend to be the same people. Can I have your $9 million net worth problem, please?
I get my time back. The fact is that
I would claim my time.
worked on this in a way that he's going to be the first president of the United States to leave office having fewer jobs in his administration
Oh my
than when he
God.
became president.
Oh,
my
stick with
God,
that, Joe.
I
Because everybody knows that's crazy. Go ahead,
Secondly,
please.
the people who have lost their jobs are those people who have been on the front lines, those people who have been saving our lives, those people who have been out there dying, people who've been putting
Dude, this
themselves
is-
in a way to make sure that we
this
could
is
all
not good
try
for
to
Biden.
make it. And the
I
idea
don't think
that he
anyone
is
would have done
insisting
well with
that
Trump
we
and
go
against the
forward
economy.
economy,
I don't think
uh,
that anyone would
almost
have
half
done
the
well.
states in America with a significant increase
What would you
in
say?
COVID deaths and
Can't make it
COVID
better.
cases in the United States of America. And he wants to open it up more. Why does he want to open it up? Why doesn't he take care of the American? You can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID crisis.
Mike watching on the Annie Fry YouTube page says Biden is surprisingly coherent so far. I would agree that he hasn't like been a bumbling mess so far.
Because it costs a lot of money to open them safely. You know, they were going to give, his administration going to give the teachers and school students.
Brad says Biden says you can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID problem. All of that after he undermined the vaccine. What a goob.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly correct.
Nothing. They're closing. 1 in 6 is now gone. He ought to get on the job and take care
Well, he
of the needs of
blamed
the
it
American
on
people
Trump and
so
said
we
it's
can't
Trump's
open the
economy,
same
but
up.
also said that we can't open up the economy until we fix COVID.
Well, you both have 2 minutes, sir.
Excuse me, he made a statement.
So did you.
People want their schools, people want their schools open. They don't want to be shut down. They don't want their
My kids are in
states shut
school,
down.
thank
They want their
God.
restaurants. I look at New York. It's so sad what's happening in New York. It's almost like a ghost town. And I'm not sure it can ever recover what they've done in New York. People want their places open. They want to get back to their life. They'll be careful, but they want their schools open. I'm the one that brought back football. By the way, I brought back Big Ten football. It was me, and I'm very happy to do it. And
Wendy says I haven't heard Biden explain what the K meant. I don't know that either. Maybe I'm just not smart enough.
Your economic plans going forward in a moment, but first, Mr. President, as you well know, there's a new report that in 2016, the year you were elected president, and 2017, your first year as president, that you paid
Taxes, here we go.
$750 a year.
Oh
in
no, I thought
federal
this was going to be the
Each of
thing
those
you were
years.
talking about.
Oh,
a
the
minute ago.
national.
Yeah, yeah.
I know that you pay
Yeah.
a lot of other taxes, but I'm asking
It
you
would-
specific
if he goes out on
questions.
that would be a big deal.
You paid $750
We still got lots of time.
Here we go.
income taxes each of those 2 years.
I paid millions of dollars in taxes, millions of dollars of income tax. And let me just tell you, there was a story in one of the papers. I paid $38 million 1 year.
Stephen Morrissey pays millions and millions of dollars.
Show us your tax return. I went, you'll see it as soon as it's finished. You'll see it. You know, what you want to do, go to the Board of Elections. There's a 118-page or so report that says everything I have, every bank I have, I'm totally
I looked at it.
under leveraged because the assets are extremely good. And we have a, I built a
I'm
great
asking you
company.
a specific question, which is.
But let me tell you.
I understand all of that. I understand all of that. No, Mr.
He did
President,
answer. He said, "I
I'm
know. I
asking
paid
you a
millions."
question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
So
yes.
not $700
Millions of dollars. And you get to see it. And you get to see it. But let me just argue, Chris, let me just say something that it was the tax laws. I don't want to pay tax. Before I came here, I was a private developer. I was a private business people. Like every other private person, unless they're stupid, they go through the laws, and that's what it is. He passed the
Joe,
tax
what do
bill.
you do?
He gave us
Unless you're
all these
stupid.
privileges for depreciation and for tax credits. We built the building and we get tax credits like the hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue. You get a massive, which by the way, was given to me by the Obama administration, if you can believe that. Now the man got fired right after that happened. But
Vice President Biden, you want to respond?
Yeah, I do want to respond. Look, the tax code that made him, put him in a position that he pays less tax than a school teacher make on the money a school teacher makes is because of him he says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And we're going to
That's on you and me, people. That's you and me.
Sure that we invest in
Eliminate the
people
tax
who, in
cuts.
fact,
That affects
need the
us.
help. People out there need help.
But why didn't
I
we do it
think-
over 20 in the last 25 years?
Because
Why didn't you do it over?
you weren't president screwing things up.
You were a senator, and
You're the worst president America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just say,
Come on, man. Come on.
In 47 months, I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe. We've done things that you never even thought about, including fixing the broken military that you gave me, including taking care of your pets.
Mr. President, we're talking about the economy. I'd like to ask you about your plans going forward because, Mr. Vice President, your economic plan,
I wish Trump would
if
say,
you were to be elected president, focuses
how many
on
how many taxpayer dollars, Joe, have you put in your pocket over the years? Because I can tell you, I put in. It's not exactly zero. It's $1 per whatever. You know, he's got to take $1 or something, really, which is also stupid.
Individuals making more than $400,000
$3.
a year and on corporations.
Yeah.
President Trump says that kind of an increase in taxes is going to hurt the economy as it's just coming out of a recession.
Well, just take a look at what is the analysis done by Wall Street firms. Points out that my economic plan would create 7 million more jobs than his in 4 years, number one. And number two, it would create an additional $1 trillion in economic growth because it would be about buying America. That we're going to make the federal government spend $600 billion a year on everything from ships to steel to buildings and the like. And under my proposal, we're going to make sure that every penny of that has to be made by a company.
Joe just started saying words. He's like, cut me off, Chris. Cut me off.
Make the corporate tax 28%. It shouldn't be 21%. You have 91 companies, federal
19.
Fortune 500.
Here we go.
A single penny tax making billions of dollars. Because Obama, because you in fact passed that. That was your tax proposal.
I got it done, and you know what happened? You got it to our economy boom. It's never boomed.
Boo! There's a mic drop. There you go, Facebook.
Continue your free market approach, lower taxes, more deregulation, correct?
Not lower tax for American people.
But in Obama's
Excuse
about
me.
the economy booming, it turns out that in Obama's final 3 years as president, more jobs were created, 1.5 million more jobs than in the first 3 years of your presidency.
They had the slowest recovery since economic recovery since 1929. It was the slowest recovery. Also, they took
Ooh, Biden's
over
looking at
something that was
Trump.
down
That's
here. All
not
you gotta
happening
do is
very
turn
much
on
here.
the lights and you pick up a lot. But they had the slowest economic recovery since 1929. Let me tell you about the stock market. When the stock market goes up, that means jobs. It also means 401ks. If you got in, if you ever became president with your ideas, you want to terminate my taxes, I'll tell you what, you'll lose half of the companies that have poured in here will leave, and plenty of companies that are already here, they'll leave for other places. They will leave, and you will have a depression, the likes of which you've never seen.
Look, we inherited the worst recession short of a depression in American history.
I was asked to bring it back. We were able to have an economic recovery that created the jobs you're talking about. We handed him a booming economy. He blew it. It wasn't he blew it. He
blew it.
wasn't booming. It was the weakest recovery.
Sir, is it fair to say he blew it when, in fact, it was when there was record low unemployment before COVID?
Yeah, but because what he did, even before COVID, manufacturing went in the hole. Manufacturing went in the hole. It's number one.
Say it again. Maybe it'll make a bigger impact.
No, you're number two. No, Chris. They said it would take a miracle to bring back manufacturing. I brought back 700,000 jobs. They brought
Here in
back
Grand
nothing.
City.
They gave up on manufacturing. We did not standard fare. I'm the guy that brought back the automobile manufacturing. We brought back. I was asked to bring back Chrysler and General Motors. We brought them back right here in the state of Ohio and Michigan. He blew it. They're gone. He blew it. And in fact, they're going. Ohio had the best year it's ever had last year. Michigan had the best year they've ever had.
Oops.
It's not true. Car companies came in from Germany, from Japan, went to Michigan.
Uh-oh. Brad Range says now he's going in on Hunter. Here it comes.
You take a look at what he's actually done. He's done very.
We'll have to find out how much we're behind here.
Yeah, we're a little behind.
He talks about these great trade deals.
3 minutes?
You know, he talks about
Really?
the deal. China perfected the art of the steal. We have a higher deficit.
Oh, the art of the
now
steal.
than
He had that in
before.
the
We have the highest
hopper.
trade deficit with Mexico. China ate your lunch, Joe, and no wonder your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars. Takes out billions of dollars from energy. Makes
Joe, how
millions
you
of
can handle this?
And also, while we're at it, why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it? What did he do with Burisma to deserve $183,000? None of that is true. Oh, really?
Mr. President, please.
Totally discredited. Totally discredited. And by the way, he didn't get $3.5 million, Joe?
Mr. Vice
He got $3.5 million. That is not true.
Trump does not give any F's about what Chris Wallace is doing here.
Mr. President, hold on, Chris.
Discredited. There was a report, $183,000 a month with no experience in energy. Look, my son did nothing wrong. I think he did.
Mr. President,
he doesn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth. His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited. And the media. By everybody. Well, by the media, by our allies, by the World Bank,
By Ukraine? No.
by everyone has discredited. Matter of fact, even the people who testified under oath. So let me ask you this.
I'm listening to you.
People under, he got $3.5 million from Moscow. He testified under oath in his administration, said, I did my job and I did it very well. I did it under oath. Well, I'll give you the list of the people who said, you've already fired most of them because they did a good job. Some people don't. Well, here's it.
Wait a minute, you get the final word.
Well, it's hard to get any word in with this clown. Excuse me, this. And let me just say,
No.
Excuse me, this person.
that is simply.
Why did he deserve $3.5 million from Moscow?
Look, here's the deal. We want to talk
Clown?
about families and ethics. I don't want to do that. I mean, his family we could talk about all night. His family's my family.
My family lost a fortune by coming down and helping us with government.
And that's every single one of them lost. This is not about my family or his family. It's about your family.
Chris Wallace is going to ground Trump.
That's not true. It doesn't
Hey,
want
Jared,
to talk
would you mind
about
getting us some water?
what you need.
I can go get some. I can go get some.
We gotta get a cup.
It's about you.
It's okay. I can quietly.
At the end of the night, we're moving on.
It didn't take that.
Vice President, it's no.
It's a very important.
No, the answer to the question is no.
Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion, if you
That is
You know what?
absolutely not true.
You're doing it. You're gonna have
Hey, true.
gentlemen. And I hate to raise my voice, but I mean, it to be. Why should I be different than the two of you? So here's the data point. We have 6 segments. We have ended that segment. We're going to go to the next segment. In that segment, you each are going to have 2 uninterrupted moments. In those 2 uninterrupted minutes, Mr. President, you can say anything you want.
I think Trump needs to not lay off, but he needs to.
Go ahead. But
Yeah, that got kind of out of hand.
Yeah.
We'd be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more interrupting.
That's all right, but he does plenty.
Well, less than
Plenty.
no, less
He
than
does
you
do
are.
plenty.
Let's please continue on. The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very fine people on both sides, was what directly led you to launch this run for president. President Trump, you have also said that you believe you have done more for Black Americans than any president, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. My question for the two of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency. It's about the Constitution. And we have never walked away from trying to require equity for everyone, equality for the whole of America.
I really pay
But
attention a lot
we've never
to
accomplished
men's
it. We've
suits or
never
just what
walked
people are
away
wearing
from
in
what he
general.
has done.
That
It
tie
is
that
true
Biden is
that we've
wearing,
gotten
not
arrested,
working
most
out.
people
You don't like
close
it?
their eyes.
I
You know what
don't
those people look
like
coming out of the
white
fields carrying torches.
and
Their
navy
veins
and then
will be
white and navy. Like there has to be something that separates all of that or ties it together.
Mhm.
And it's just the same colors.
I don't really know what a good tie necessarily looks like. I know what a bad tie looks like.
Yeah, Trump is wearing a really good tie. Biden's wearing a really bad tie.
It is
Now, second point I'd make to you is that when Floyd was killed, when Mr. Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, had the military who used tear gas on him so he could walk across to a church and hold up a Bible. And then what happened after that? The bishop of that very church said that it was a disgrace. The general who was with him said all he ever wants to do is divide people, not unite people at all. This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division. This is a man who, in fact, you talk about helping African Americans. 1 in 1,000 African Americans has been killed because of the coronavirus. And if he doesn't do something quickly, by the end of the year, 1 in 500 will have been killed. 1 in 500 African Americans. This man is the savior of African Americans. This man cares at all. This man's done virtually nothing. Look, the fact is that you have to look at what he talks about. You have to look at what he did. And what he did has been disastrous for the African American community.
so. President Trump, you have 2 minutes. Why should Americans trust you over your opponent to deal with race?
He did a crime bill, 1994, where you call them super predators, African Americans, super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it, Jeff.
No, sir, it's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African American population community, you have treated the Black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the and that's why, if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time, because they saw what you did. You call them super predators, and you've called them worse than that, because you look back at your testimony over the years, you called them a lot worse than that. As far as the church is concerned, and as far as the generals are concerned, we just got the support of 250 military leaders and generals, total support. Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement, because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters.
Wow.
Why aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the words law enforcement? Because you know what? If they called us in Portland, we would put out that fire in a half an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by radical left Democrats.
Ask him if he supports law enforcement. Just
look
ask
at
him and shut up and let the
you want-
silence speak if
Oh,
Biden won't
Seattle.
answer.
They heard we were coming in the following day and they put up their hands and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order, but you don't. The top 10 cities and just about the top 40 cities are run by Democrats and in many cases radical left. And they've got you wrapped around their finger, Joe, to a point where you don't want to say anything about law and order. And I'll tell you what, the people of this country want and demand
law and order, and you're afraid to even say it.
All right. I want
Wow.
to return to the question of race. Vice President Biden.
Those
asked the grand
clips
jury in the
by
Breonna
Trump would have
case
a lot more meaning if he
decided
wouldn't
not to
spend
charge
all of
any
Joe's
the
time
police
talking over.
Yeah.
Joe.
outside. You said it raises the
Wait
question,
for your
quote,
turn.
whether
Deliver the
justice
haymaker.
could be equally applied in America. Do you believe that there is a separate but unequal system of justice for blacks in this country?
Yes, there's systemic injustice in this country, in education and work and in law enforcement and the way in which it's enforced. But look, the vast majority of police officers are good, decent, honorable men and women. They risk their lives every day to take care of us. But there are some bad apples. And when they occur, when they find them, they have to be sorted out. They have to be held accountable. They have to be held accountable. And what I'm going to do as President of the United States is call together an entire group of people at the White House, well, everything from the civil rights groups to the police officers, to the police chiefs, and we're going to work this out. We're going to work this out so we change the way in which we have more transparency in when these things happen. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to George Floyd. These cops aren't happy to see what happened to Breonna Taylor.
Well, then prop up the good cops.
But we have to have
Stand beside them.
where people are held accountable. And by the way, violence in response is never appropriate. Never appropriate. Peaceful protest is. Violence is never appropriate.
What is peaceful protest? When they run through the middle of the town and burn down your stores and kill people all over the place?
That is not peaceful protest.
But you say it is.
I'd like to continue to get to the race. I promise we're going to get to the issue of law and order in a moment. This month,
Fine.
your administration directed
I'll
federal
allow it.
agencies to end racial sensitivity training that addresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training? And do you believe that there is systemic racism in this country?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people
I like
were
it.
complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place, and you know it, and so does everybody else.
Radical,
And he would know.
what is
Oh, it's
radical
totally
about
racist.
racial sensitivity training?
If you are a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of a reversal. And if you look at the people, we would pay people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas and frankly very sick ideas. And really, they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to allow that to happen. We have to go back to the core values of this country. They were teaching people that our country is a horrible place, it's a racist place, and they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Vice President Biden?
Nobody's doing that. He's a racist.
You just don't.
Here's the deal. I know a lot more about this.
Did he just say Trump's racist?
Yeah.
The fact is that there is racial insensitivity. People have to be made aware of what other people feel like, what insults them, what is demeaning to them. It's important that people know they don't want to. Many people don't want to hurt other people's feelings, but it makes a big difference. It makes a gigantic difference in the way a child is able to grow up and have a sense of self-esteem. It's a little bit like how
From my
this
wife.
guy and his friends look down on so many people. They look down their nose on people like Irish Catholics like me and grew up in Scranton. They look down on people who don't have money. They look down on people who are of a different faith. They look down on people who are a different color.
Carlo, he's
In
texting
fact,
his wife.
we're
It's
all
allowed.
Americans. The only
It's
way
encouraged.
to bring this country together is bring everybody
I
together.
agree.
There's nothing we cannot
Yeah.
do if we do it together. We can take this on and we can defeat racism
Vice
in America.
President Trump, sir.
During the Obama-Biden administration, there was tremendous division. There was hatred. You look at Ferguson, you look at, and you go to very many
Hey,
places.
St. Louis.
Look at
Hey, we made it.
what I'm even seeing now. But the reason is that the Democrats that run these cities don't want to talk.
Chris,
with
tell
you
Joe
about
Biden to
law
shut
and
up.
order.
Violent
You still
crime.
haven't mentioned.
Violent
Are you
crime.
in favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You follow
Are you in
it, a
favor
little
of
bit
law and order? Come on,
Yes,
say
I'm
it.
in favor. You ask a question, let him finish.
law and order.
This is
Law and order.
Let him.
Law and order with justice, where people get treated fairly. And the fact of the matter is, violent crime was down 7
15%, 15% in our administration.
Do you guys feel like Chris Wallace is putting the thumb on the scale for Joe Biden?
All right, we're
I don't. If so, slightly. He's definitely not putting it on for Trump.
I feel like he's putting the thumb on the scale for Biden, and I feel like Trump is not counteracting to equalize it.
This summer particularly, and you often blame that on Democratic mayors and Democratic governors, but in fact there have been equivalent spikes in Republican-led cities like Tulsa and Fort Worth. So the question is this really a party issue?
I think it's a party issue. You can bring in a couple of examples, but if you look at Chicago,
Do Illinois. There it is.
53 people were shot and 8 died shot. If you look at New York, where it's going up like nobody's ever seen anything, the numbers are going up 100, 150, 200%.
People agree with that assessment on here.
It's crazy
Quinn,
what's
Kelly.
going on. And he doesn't want to say
Another Kelly.
I don't think Trump is doing himself any favors by trying to railroad.
I agree.
But if he ever got to run this country and they ran it the way he would want to run it, we would have our suburbs would be gone. By the way, our suburbs.
I think he's gotten used to steamrolling people and then having to take it because he's the president.
Unless he took a wrong turn. I know suburbs.
Well, the fights that he fights back on, they get started when he's not there. It's like constantly, I just want to talk about you behind your back in public.
Suburbs are by and large integrated. There's many people today driving their kids to soccer practice and or to black and white and Hispanic in the same car as there have been any time in the past. What really is a threat to the suburbs and their safety is his failure to deal with COVID. They're dying in the suburbs. His failure to deal with the environment. They're being flooded. They're being burned out because his refusal to do anything. Suburbs are in trouble.
I do want to talk about this issue of
Close the
law and
computer,
order,
brother.
and in
Just
the
hold
joint
on.
recommendation that
I've been
came
looking at
from
that screen. I'm like,
Biden,
should I
Bernie
close or should I
Sanders
not? It's the
task
same
force,
screen.
you
I'm
talk
trying to make sure I'm
about,
not
quote,
over taxing the Wi-Fi.
reimagining policing. First of all, what does reimagining policing mean, and do you support? It means, let me, if I might finish the question, what does reimagining policing mean, and do you support the Black Lives Matter?
Those should be separate
call
questions.
for community control of policing?
What I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems they face. And I'm totally opposed to defunding the
You guys want to
police
weigh in
officers.
here? Aaron
Matter of
says, I'm
fact,
debating if I
police,
should open a
local
second
You're
bottle,
not
leaning
defunding it. His
yes.
budget
Yes.
calls for $1 million.
It's only
cut in
nine.
local law enforcement assistance. They need more
It's only not
assistance.
on Tuesday.
Just make
They need
responsible
when they show up for a
decisions.
9/11
Take the
call
ibuprofen
to have
when you go to
someone
bed.
who's a psychologist or psychiatrist to keep them from having to use force and be able to talk people down. We have to have community policing like we had before, where the officers get to know the people in the communities. That's when crime went down. It didn't go up, it went down. And so we have to be. That's not what they're talking about, Chris. That's not what they're talking about. That's exactly defunding the police. That is not true. He doesn't have any law. Well, look, no law enforcement. That's not true. Almost that's not. Look, oh, really? Who do you have? Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came out and supported you. Go ahead. Think. We have time.
Just
We
shut
don't
up and let
have
him.
time to do anything.
Silence.
Name one law enforcement group that came out and
I think,
supported.
gentlemen, I'm going to take back the moderator's role, and I want to get to another subject, which is the issue of protests in many cities that have turned violent. In Portland, Oregon, especially, we had more than 100 straight days of protests, which I think you would agree. You talk about peaceful protests. Many of those turned into riots. Mr. Vice President,
Summer of
you
love.
say that people who commit crimes
Who says that?
should be held accountable. The question I have, though, is as the Democratic nominee, and earlier tonight you said that you
You
are.
can bring
I forgot
that.
about the
You can bring that
cookies.
tray back here if you want.
Have you ever called
Did you just do a cookie dance?
I forgot about the
You ever seen Ryan's cookie dance? Because now I have.
There's so much food
Here comes the
everywhere.
cookie tray. Can we?
Days and months. of
It's the elf. It's a cookie elf.
I don't hold public office.
Here.
I am a former vice president. I've made it clear in my public statements that the violence should be prosecuted.
I
It
really
should be
won't.
prosecuted. And anyone who commits it
But
should
you've
be
never
prosecuted.
called for the people, the leaders, excuse me, sir. You've never called for the leaders in Portland and in Oregon to bring in the National Guard and knock off 100 days of riots.
They can, in fact,
take care of it if you just stay out of the way. Look here.
Oh, really?
Here, here's the thing.
I said,
really?
get the killer of a young man in the middle of the street and they shot him. And for 3 days,
President Trump,
Portland didn't do anything. I had to send to the U.S. Marshals.
Chris Wallace's biggest investment in this debate is making sure that he wins the battle with Donald Trump, and it shows. Not a good look on Trump, but it's not a good look on Chris either.
Violence help his cause.
Chris said his number one objective is to like fade into the background and be like nobody notices he's there. That's what he said that he was gonna do.
I don't think she said.
She said he's trying
Oh
to
boy.
rock.
Uh-oh.
You know, he doesn't want to calm things down. Instead of going in and talking.
Sorry guys, I gotta do this so we don't lose. Buffering.
and not
These cookies are
violence in a number
Not
of
real
cities
good.
that we saw in the
Jensen.
news.
You have to take some home with you guys.
Are you prepared to specifically do it?
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right
So
wing.
what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. You want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and right
Like me to condemn.
white supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is
Big guy director.
this is a
That was smart of Trump to say, name the person you want me to condemn,
Antifa's
and
an
I'll do it.
idea, Not an organization.
You got it.
Now, listen, that's what
Here's an idea.
his FBI director said.
Well, then you know what?
No, we're done, sir. We're
Everybody,
moving on to the next.
it's your that's not an idea.
Everybody in
Antifa
your
is bad.
administration tells you the truth is a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no idea.
Antifa is a dangerous
All right,
radical.
gentlemen, we're now moving on to the Trump and Biden records.
They'll overthrow you.
When a president, I'm going to ask a question. When the president seeks a second term, it is generally a referendum on his record. But Vice President Biden, you like to quote one of your dad's sayings, which is, don't compare me to the almighty, compare me to the alternative. And in this case, sir, you are the alternative. Looking at both of your records, I'm going to ask each of you, why should voters elect you president over your opponent? In this segment, President Trump, you go first, 2 minutes.
Because there has never been an administration or president who has done more than I've done in a period of 3.5 years. And that's despite the impeachment hoax. And you saw what happened today with Hillary Clinton, where it was a whole big con job. But despite going through all of these things, where I had to fight both flanks and behind me and above, there has never been an administration that's done what I've done. The greatest, before COVID came in, the greatest economy in history, lowest unemployment numbers. Everything was good. Everything was going. And by the way, there was unity going to happen. People were calling me for the first time in years. They were calling and they were saying, it's time maybe. And then we got hit, but now we're building it back up again. A rebuilding of the military, including Space Force and all of the other things. A fixing of the VA, which was a mess under him. 300,000 people died because they didn't have proper health care. He was a mess. And we now got a 91% approval rating at the VA, our vets. We take care of our vets. But we've rebuilt our military. The job that we've done, and I'll tell you something, some people say maybe the most important. By the end of the first term, I'll have approximately 300 federal judges and Court of Appeals judges, 300, and hopefully 3 great Supreme Court judges, justices. That is a record the likes of which very few people, and you know one of the reasons
Are people
I like so many
afraid of
judges,
a Supreme
because
Court
President
that is a
Obama
majority
and
conservative?
Terrified. It's the scariest thing for them.
judges.
But like, are people like? I know
You leave
liberals are,
office,
but
you
like,
don't leave any
has that
judges.
ever
It's like
happened?
you
Is
just
that
don't do that.
historically
They
something
left
that happens where the
128
majority is
openings.
conservative?
And
In our lifetime and probably before that.
because they
No.
have a little different philosophy. I'd say if you left us 128 openings, you can't be a good president. You can't be a good vice president. But I want to thank you because it gives us almost, it'll probably be above that number by the end of this term. 300 judges. It's
Looking at both your records, why should voters president as opposed to President Trump? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
As president, we become weaker, sicker, poorer, more divided, and more violent.
We're divided by
When I
design.
was vice president, we inherited a recession.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
asked to fix it. I did. We left him a booming economy,
A
and he
blooming.
caused the recession. With regard to being weaker, the fact is that I've gone head to head with Putin and made it clear to him we're not going to take any of his stuff. He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to even say
He told
anything to
Putin,
about
no more
the
malarkey.
bounty on the heads of American soldiers.
His son got
No,
$3
no.
billion.
And by the way, Mr. My son,
Wait a minute, Mr. President, your campaign agreed that both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and why don't you observe what your campaign agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
he never keeps his word.
No, I'm not asking. That was a rhetorical question.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, I would like 2 minutes to respond.
So, thirdly, we're poor. The billionaires have gotten much more wealthy by a tune of over $300 to $400 billion more.
Trump looks so
since COVID.
pissed.
You in the home, you got less. You're in more trouble than you were before. In terms of being more violent, when we were in office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today. He's president of the United States. It's on his watch. And with regard to more divided, the nation can't stay divided. We can't be this way. And speaking of my son, the way you talk about the military, the way you talk about them being losers,
I want to
and being-
specify
Oh, I
which
knew
son.
they were gonna bring
and
this
just
up.
being suckers.
That'll lead to
My
it.
son was in Iraq. He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot. And the people left behind there were heroes. And I resent like hell.
Are you talking
I'm
about
talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're
I
talking
don't know.
about
I don't know, Bo. I know Hunter. Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. It
for
wasn't dishonorable.
cocaine use, and he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you
None
became
of that
vice
is true.
president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
That is
and
simply
various
not
other
true.
places. He
My
made a
son,
Yes, I don't know.
my son,
and he didn't have a job.
my son,
You got
like
this
a
right.
lot of people, you know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it.
That's
And
the
I'm
line
proud
he
of
was
him.
given
I
for
was
when
on my
Trump
son.
goes down that
He
road.
wasn't given $10 million.
Appeal to the people who have
Totally-
faced addiction.
Totally,
God, this is annoying.
We've already been through this. I think the American people would rather hear about more substantial
So do I.
subjects. Well, you know, as the moderator, sir, I'm going to make a judgment call here.
$3.5 million
Okay,
from the
let's
mayor
talk
of
about-
Moscow.
Let's talk about
That report is totally
Why did he-
discredited.
I
Mitt Romney on that committee said it wasn't worth taxpayers' money, that report. It was written
He
for
lets Joe Biden go.
You know, I'd like to talk about climate change.
So would I.
Okay.
God,
The forest
Joe
fires
Biden.
in the
Well,
West are
oh
raging
gosh.
now. They have burned millions of acres. They have displaced.
Chris
hundreds
Wallace
of
too is
thousands of
only looking
people.
at Trump.
When state
Yeah.
officials
Uh,
there
Chris-
blame
Chris
the
is
fires on
not
climate
doing a
change,
good
Mr.
job.
President, you said,
Trump's not, I don't
think
think, doing himself favors. I don't think he's
over your
losing
4
voters.
years,
I don't know
you
that
have
he's gaining
pulled the
them,
US out of the
but-
Paris Climate Accord. You have rolled back a number of Obama environmental records. What?
Chris
do you
Wallace
believe
has
about
inserted.
the
Chris
science
Wallace is
of
going to
climate
be
change,
one of the stories that
and
comes
what
out of
will
this.
you
And his
do in the next 4 years to
initial
confront it?
presentation was
I
that
want
he wanted to
crystal
not be
clean
noticed.
water and air. I want beautiful, clean air. We have now the lowest carbon. If you look at our numbers right now, we are doing phenomenally. But I haven't destroyed our businesses. Our businesses.
Joe Biden,
aren't put out of
when Trump's making
commission.
points, Joe Biden
If you
closes
look
his
at
eyes
the
and
Paris
chuckles to
Accord,
himself
it was a
like this.
disaster from our standpoint, and people are actually
Weird.
very happy about what's going on because our businesses are doing well. As far as the fires are concerned, you need forest management in addition.
Tony
to
says,
everything
"I
else.
love how Joe's
The
eyes get
forest
big when he
forests
actually
are
knows the
loaded up
answer
with
to a
trees,
question."
trees that are years old and they're like tinder. And
You said this before, 80.
you
They're
drop a
only
cigarette
2
in
years
there, the whole
apart.
forest burns down.
3 years
You gotta have
apart now. I
forest
think
management,
What do you
you gotta have
believe?
cuts.
What do you believe about the science?
But
of
when you see them
climate
side by
change?
side like they are
I
now,
believe that
they-
we have to do everything
look
we
like
can
they
to
could
have
be
immaculate air,
7
immaculate
years,
water, and
8
do
years.
whatever else we can. That's good. You know, we're planting a billion trees, the Billion Tree Project, and it's very
Do you
exciting.
believe
3 years
that
apart.
human
3.
pollution, greenhouse gas emissions contributes to the global warming of
I
the
think a
planet?
lot of things do, but I think to an extent, yes. I think to an extent, yes. But I also think we have to do better management of our forests. Every year, I get the call, California's burning. California's burning. If that was cleaned if you had forest management, good forest management, you wouldn't be getting those calls. You know, in Europe, they live their forest cities. They're called forest cities. They maintain their forests. They manage their forests. I was with the head of a major country. It's a forest city. He said, "Sir, we have trees."
For all you people who are watching right now, we've got
They
335 people watching at this point in time on all of our platforms. Comment right now and tell us who is winning,
hundreds of thousands
who's
of
losing.
hectares of
Tell us what you
land
think. Just
burned
give
to
us
the
your
ground.
comments here, and we're going to watch them as they come in.
Burning down because of a lack of
But sir, if you believe in the science of climate change, why have you rolled back the Obama clean power plant, in which limited carbon emissions in power plants? Why have you relaxed?
because it was driving energy prices through the sky.
Why have you relaxed fuel?
You think they're gonna hit 9:30?
They usually don't, but
12 years old. If you did that,
this
the
says
car
8
would
to
be
10,
safer,
so I
it
don't
would
know
be
does
much
that.
cheaper by
They
$3,500.
didn't start right at 8.
Take a lot of cars off the market because people would be able to afford
Sue
a
Lynn
car.
says Trump
Now,
winning and not helping
by the way,
himself.
We're going to see how that turns out. But a lot of people
Emily
are
says
losing.
America
Many
is
people.
losing.
The car has gotten so expensive because they have
see.
computers all over the place. For an extra
Joe
little
says, I
bit
think Trump is winning for the most part. Wallace, not so much.
And I'm okay with electric cars too. I think I'm all for electric cars. I've given big incentives for electric
Emily
cars.
says
But
America
what
is
they've done in
losing.
California is just crazy.
Vice President Biden,
Rusty says Wallace is a disgrace.
to the president's
James says no one is winning this. I kind of agree.
About a concern. You proposed $2 trillion in green.
Austin on YouTube says, I think Trump won. Biden just wasn't a very effective year.
New limits on fracking.
Kelly says Biden looks like bystander right now. Pam says that Stumpy's open row is winning, and that's a win for all of us, right?
The president says a lot of these things.
Don says Trump is not helping himself by interrupting. However, Wallace has been more to the left than center, and I agree with that.
If in fact, during our administration, the Recovery Act, I was in charge, able to bring down the cost.
Patrick says need to talk policy. Biden will be lost. You don't elect a president because you like them. You elect him because for your country, in your country.
Coal-fired plant in America. No one's going to build another oil-fired plant in America. They're going to move.
Saturn says Trump is acting like a fool. He wanted to stop the riots. That's like a good thing. Trump isn't acting like a fool. Sorry, Saturn.
Run on their electric vehicles. Making sure that we can do that, we're going to put 500,000 charging stations and all the hot.
Our Kevin, who is with us all the time, says listening, Biden is winning. So like auditory, if you're just listening to it, and that's an interesting thing too. If you're watching this on television, or if you're just listening to the coverage on 97.1, for instance, you could experience a very different deal.
The heat will not be going out. There's some things that we can do now.
Are you on the
to
Wi-Fi?
create thousands and thousands.
Is there anything
of
else running on Wi-Fi right now?
We can get to net zero in terms of energy production by 2035. Not only not costing people jobs, creating millions of good paying jobs, not $15 an hour, but prevailing wage.
Jason says, I feel like Trump is winning, but needs to control himself.
Yeah. The first thing I will rejoin the Paris Accord.
Michael says, looks bad.
Because with us out of it, look what's happening.
Zach says Trump has to debate 2 people and is still winning.
Someone who has no relationship with foreign policy. Brazil, the rainforests of Brazil are being torn down, are being ripped down.
I don't think either one of them is really pulled ahead, but Trump has done it to himself.
Greg says Trump barely winning, stop interrupting, and Wallace is really helping Biden. I think that's true.
That's a good assessment.
Coming up with $20 billion, say, here's $20 billion. Stop tearing down the forest. And if you don't, then you're going to have significant economic.
I wonder if Trump knows that, or if his adrenaline just kicking in.
I think he's just trumping.
Just going.
Yeah, he'll be better on debate number 2 and 3 because that's what people will tell him for the next one.
He'll see it from himself.
And he'll see it, yeah.
To make sure that methane's not a problem. You can now emit more methane without it being a problem. Methane. This is a guy who says that you don't have to have.
It's funny because my internet is off a little bit right now, so Joe Biden's words don't match his lips, and it kind of makes more sense.
It's all true. And here's the
Talking
deal.
about the Green New Deal, and it's not too 20, which is
It's a good screenshot.
It's pretty much the
Where
debate.
airplanes are out of business.
Is this our oldest
Where
Roku?
two-car systems are out. Where
That's
they
what it
want to
is.
take out the cows too. You know, that's not true either.
We need
Right?
to replace
Now,
it.
this is a 100. That's
Do we have a
more
Chromecast
money
on this TV right
that our
now?
country could make in a
Like, could I be
100
projecting
years
this from my?
All right, let me
Not gonna do it now, but
Wait a minute, sir. I actually have studied your plan, and it includes upgrading 4 million buildings, weatherizing 2 million homes over 4 years, building 1.5 million energy efficient homes. So the question becomes, the president is saying, and some people.
Genevieve
who support the
says,
president
I believe
would say
Biden closes
that
his eyes so he can stay
sounds like it's gonna
focused.
cost
I
a lot of
agree with
money and
that.
hurt
It
the
seems like he
economy.
almost fell asleep, but Trump is dominating this debate. The laughing by Biden is a sign of weakness. I agree with that. And if you're not watching this, if you're just listening to it, you're not seeing that. You know?
Yeah.
And there's tax incentives for people to weatherize, which he wants to get rid of. It's going to make the economy.
Ben says,
Look how
haven't
much we're
washed.
paying
Is there a
now
clear
to
winner?
deal with the
Uh,
hurricanes, to deal with,
no,
by the way, he has an answer
not
for
really.
hurricanes. He said maybe we should drop a nuclear weapon on them. They may.
I never said that.
That's what they did say.
You made it up.
You made it up.
Yeah,
I never said that at all. You made
We
it
can
up.
create hard, good jobs by making sure the environment is clean
Hard,
and we
good
all
jobs.
are in better shape. We spend billions of dollars now.
Hey, Brian says, Annie, I can't wait to listen tomorrow. Should be fun to hear what you have to say. I can't wait. Yeah, we're going to have a lot to say.
Is it me or has Biden been talking for 800 years?
I can't wait to see how they break down the time balance to see what. I wonder if they'll include all of Trump interrupting Biden as Trump time too.
I'm like,
I bet they will.
why is Biden still? What time is it? How
See,
long
this
is
is
it?
what Trump needs to do. Just let him ramble.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything
Wait for
good
his
for Biden.
wait for his time and ask him questions. Just be like, Joe, do you support law enforcement? And just the most powerful thing you can do is shut up and let the silence be uncomfortable.
We're supposed to be good. And by the way, he made a couple of statements. The Green New Deal is $100 trillion.
That is not my plan.
That's three. Well, you want to rebuild
It's not my plan.
Keep saying that.
Anything about it. If
He made a statement about the military. He said I said something about
This
the
is
military.
Trump's
He
turn
and
to
his
freaking
friends
talk.
made it up, and then they went with it. I never said it.
Okay.
He said he called the military stupid bastards.
I
He
did
said
not
it on
say
tape.
that.
He said stupid bastards.
Yeah,
you
No,
did.
you
Did
I would never
I
say
would
that.
play it.
Play it.
The Vice President
Play it.
answered his final question.
The final question is, I can't
Answer
remember
his
which of all was written.
I'm having a little trouble myself, but
Oh, Chris,
about
don't
the
do that.
economy and about this question of what it's going to cost.
Did they just have a camaraderie? Is that like,
Yes.
did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
The Green New Deal will pay for itself as we move forward. You're not going to build plants that, in fact, are great polluting plants.
You
You're going to
support
build.
the Green New Deal?
Pardon me?
You support?
No, I don't support the Green
Oh,
New
you
Deal.
don't? Oh, well, that's a big statement.
I
That
support
means
the
you do have
Biden.
the radical left.
I support
You
the
don't?
Biden plan that I put forward.
That I will come
The
up with
Biden
at a
plan,
later
which is
date.
different than what he calls the radical Green New Deal.
All right, gentlemen, final segment. Election integrity. As we meet tonight.
Let's just talk about integrity.
Are receiving mail-in ballots or going to vote early. How confident should we be that this will be a fair election? And what are you prepared to do over
Here we
the
go.
next 5+ weeks? Because it'll not only be to election day, but also counting some ballots, mail-in ballots after election day. What are you prepared to do to reassure the American people that the next president will be the legitimate winner of this election? In this final segment, Mr. Vice President, you go first.
Prepared to let people vote, they should go to iwillvote.com. Decide how they're going to vote, when they're going to vote, and what means by which they're going to vote. His own Homeland Security Director and as well as the FBI Director says there is no evidence at all that
We
mail-in
have
ballots
338 people watching
are
right
being
now.
manipulated and cheated.
73 on
They said
YouTube,
that.
255 on
The fact is that
Facebook,
there are gonna be
11
millions of
on
people
Periscope.
because
Hi,
of
Periscopers. Thanks for
voting
being
by
here.
mail-in ballots like he does, by the way. He sits behind the Resolute desk and sends his ballot to Florida. Number one. Number two.
That's absentee
we're gonna
voting.
make sure
That's
that
different.
those people who want to vote in person are able to vote. Poll watchers are there to make sure they can soak distance. The polls are open on time and no polls stay open until the votes are counted.
And
The
this is
polls
all
don't
about
stay open till the votes are
dissuading people
counted.
from voting because they're trying to just people are thinking that it's not going to be legitimate. Up and vote. Who will determine the outcome of this election? Vote, vote, vote. If
As
you're able
many
to vote
times as
early
you
in the
can.
state, vote early. If you're able to vote in
What's that phone
person,
number he
vote.
gave out? That text number?
303.
Whatever way is the best
Vote
way for
Joe
you,
Biden
because
at
you
303.
not stop you from being able to determine the outcome of this election. And in terms of whether or not when the votes are counted and they're all dead,
Stop it with the buffering.
in fact, is he not sure what he's accept? Well, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter because if we get the votes, it's going to be all over. He's going to go. He can't stay in power. Won't happen. It won't happen. So
Does Joe
just
Biden look
make
crazy?
sure you
Doesn't he
understand
look crazy?
you have
His
it in
Botox
your
and his
control
facelift
to
is too
determine
tight, and I
what
don't know
this
that for a
country's
fact,
gonna
but
look
I'm
like the
looking
next
at the
4
way
years.
his face is
Is
right
it gonna
now.
change? We get 4 more
It's not a
years of these
77-year-old
lies.
face.
President?
When I listened to talking about a transition, there's been no transition from when I won. I won that election, and if you look at crooked Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the
Hold on, I'm gonna rewind this just a little bit so we can make sure we hear this right. Sorry, my internet is feeling a little tired
in terms
today.
of whether or not when the votes are counted and they're all counted, that will be accepted. If I win, that will be accepted. If I lose, that will be accepted. But by the way, if in fact he says he's not sure what he's going to accept, well, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter because if we get the votes, it's going to be all over. He's going to go. He can't stay in power. It won't happen. It won't happen. So vote.
He's just, oh my
Just
gosh.
make sure you
Yeah.
understand you have it in your
like a
control to
hypnotism.
determine what this country's going to look like the next
Just
10
vote.
years.
Just vote. Vote as much as you can. Vote all the time. Just keep voting.
So when I listened to Joe talking about a transition, there's been no transition from when I won. I won that
Fact.
election. And if you look at crooked Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different people, there was no transition because they came after me trying to do a coup. They came after me spying on my campaign. They started from the day I won and even before I won. From the day I came down the escalator with our first lady, they were a disaster. They were a disgrace to our country. And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And by the way, you gave the idea for the Logan Act against General Flynn. You better take a look at that because we caught you in a sense. And
You'll be in jail.
about it too. So don't tell me about a free transition.
Amen.
As far as the ballots are concerned, it's a disaster. A solicited ballot, okay, solicited is okay. You're soliciting, you're asking, they send it back, you send it back. I did that. If you have an unsolicited, they're sending millions of ballots all over the country. There's fraud. They found them in creeks. They found some with the name Trump, just happened to have the name Trump just the other day in a waste paper basket. They're being sent all over the place. They sent 2 in a Democrat area. They sent out 1,000 ballots. Everybody got 2 ballots. This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen. The other thing, it's nice on November 3rd, you're watching and you see who won the election. And I think we're going to do well because people are really happy with the job we've done. But you know what? We won't know. We might not know for months because these ballots are going to be all over. Take a look at what happened in Manhattan. Take a look at what happened in New Jersey. Take a look at what happened in Virginia and other places. They're not losing 2%, 1%, which, by the way, is too much. An election could be won or lost with that. They're losing 30 and 40%. It's a fraud and it's a shame. And can you imagine where they say you have to have your ballot in by November 10th? November 10th. That means that's 7 days after the election, in theory, should have been announced.
Okay.
We have major states with that.
Sir,
All run by
2 minutes
Democrats.
is 2 minutes.
All run by
You're-
Democrats. It's
President Trump,
it's a rigged
you're going to be able to continue. You have been charging for months that mail-in balloting is going to be a disaster. You say it's rigged, that it's going to lead to fraud. But in 2018, in the last midterm election, 31 million people voted mail-in voting. That was a quarter, more than a quarter of all the voters that year cast their ballots by mail. Now that millions of mail-in ballots have gone out, what are you going to do about it? And are you counting on the Supreme Court, including a Justice Barrett, to settle any dispute?
Yeah, I think I'm counting on them to look at the ballots, definitely. I don't think I hope we don't need them. in terms of the election itself. But for the ballots, I think so, because what's happening is incredible. I read today, where at least 1% of the ballots for 2016
I'm so unbelievably
were-
full.
My mind and soul are bloated.
Yeah. Welcome to the Fire House.
What you do is you go and vote. You do a solicited ballot, and that's okay. Or you go and vote.
I'm asking you about the fact that millions of people.
You go and vote. You go and
No,
vote
but
like
I'm
they
saying it's
used to.
millions of
You
people.
either do, Chris, a solicited ballot where you're sending it in, they're sending it back, and you're sending. They have mailmen with lots of it. Did you see what's going on? Take a look at West Virginia. Mailmen selling the ballots.
Mailman?
They're being sold. They're being
Mailmen are doing this?
What about the
This is
mail
a
in?
horrible thing for our country.
Sending it in, they're sending it back, you're sending it in.
This is not going to end well. This is not
That's how you'd pronounce mailman if it was somebody's last name.
It's minor.
John Mailman.
5, including 2 Republican states. And you don't have to solicit the ballot. It's sent to you. It's sent to your home. What they're saying is that it has to be a postmark by election day. If it doesn't get in until the 7th, 8th, 9th, it still should be counted. He's just afraid of counting the vote.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
No, I want to continue with you on this. Vice President Biden.
Chris, he's so wrong when he makes a statement
No,
like that.
excuse me. Vice President Biden, the biggest problem, in fact, over the years with mail-in voting has not been fraud historically. It has been that sizable numbers, sometimes hundreds of thousands of ballots are thrown out because they have not been properly filled out, or there is some other irregularity, or they missed the deadline. So the question I have is, are you concerned that the Supreme Court with a Justice Barrett will settle any dispute?
I'm concerned that any court would settle this because here's the deal. When you get a ballot and you fill it out, you're supposed to have an affidavit. If you didn't know, you have someone say that this is me. You should be able to, if in fact you can verify that's you before the ballot is thrown out, that's sufficient to be able to count the ballot because someone made a mistake and not dotting the correct I. Who they voted for, testify, say who they voted for, say it's you.
What
that is
is
totally legit.
Excuse me, when you have 80 million ballots, Senate is swamping the system. You know it can't be done. You know it can't. And already,
All right,
been
so now
mail
the final
sent
question is, in 8 states, we can keep talking. In 8 states, election workers are prohibited currently by law, 8 states, from even beginning to process ballots, even take them out of the envelopes and flatten them until election day. That means that it's likely, because there's going to be a huge increase in mail-in balloting, that we are not going to know on election night who the winner is, that it could be days, it could be weeks,
Could be months.
until we find out who the new president is. So first for you, sir, finally for the vice president, I hope neither of you will interrupt the other. Will you urge your supporters to stay calm during this extended period, not to engage in any civil unrest? And will you pledge tonight that you will not declare victory until the election has been independently certified? President Trump, you
I'm
go first.
urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully, because that's what has to happen. I am urging them to do it. As you know, today there was a big problem. In Philadelphia, they went in to watch. They're called poll watchers, a very safe, very nice thing. They were thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch. You know why? Because bad things happen in Philadelphia, bad things. And I am urging my people. I hope it's going to be a fair election. If it's a fair election, I am 100% on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that. And I'll tell you what,
Shut up, Chris Wallace! Oh my gosh!
These people aren't equipped to have it. Number one. Number two, they cheat. They cheat. Hey, they found ballots in a waste paper basket 3 days ago, and they all had the name military ballots. They were military. They all had the name Trump on them.
Vice President
You think
Biden,
that's good?
Vice President Biden, final question for you. Will you urge your supporters to stay calm while the vote is counted, and will you pledge not to declare victory until the election is independently certified?
Yes, here's the deal. We count the ballots, as you pointed out. Some of these ballots in some states can't
Sorry.
be open until election day. And
Soupy
for
guy
some
says, aha, that
ballots
almost
take
woke up my
time to do it. By the way, our
It's really Chris Wallace's fault. It's really not my fault.
Versus it is the same law.
I'm fine.
And that's what's going to happen. Why was it not? Why is it for them somehow not fraudulent? It's the same process. It's honest. No one has established at all that there is fraud related to mail-in ballots. That somehow it's a fraudulent process. It's already been established. Take a look at Carolyn Maloney's race.
You have an
Look
opportunity.
at Carolyn Maloney. They have no idea what
Vice
happened.
President Biden, go ahead.
He has no idea what he's talking about. Here's the deal. The fact is, I will accept it, and he will too. You know why? Because once the winner is declared, after all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. And if it's me, in fact, fine. If it's not me, I'll support the outcome.
You
And
don't
I'll be
support it
president
now?
Not just for the Democrats. I'll be president for Democrats and Republicans.
Sufi also said, I don't
wanna
blame
say-
you. So
Gentlemen, will you say that's the end of it? This is the end of this debate.
Ballot cap.
We're
And I
going to
think
leave
he
it
does
there.
too.
To be continued as in more debates as we go
oh
on.
man, guys.
Vice President Biden, it's been an interesting hour and a half. I want to thank you both for participating in the first of 3 debates that you have agreed to engage in. We want to thank Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland Clinic for hosting this event. The next debate, sponsored by the Commission on Presidential
I don't
Debates,
know.
will be
Think about
1
what we
week
just
from
watched.
tomorrow, October 7th, at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. The 2 vice presidential nominees, Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris, will debate at 9 p.m. Eastern that night. We hope you watch. Until then, thank you and good night.
I don't know.
Chris Wallace is like, yay.
Is Trump still
Now
trying
what
to
are they
talk?
gonna do?
6 minutes after beginning, we have an answer to one of the questions. It was yes, fiery from the beginning. President Donald
All right,
Is that
guys.
Ivanka? Is that Ivanka? Look
Melania.
at that stallion. Is that her?
Melania.
at
Oh,
times
yeah.
answering directly
That's what I
to
heard.
the camera,
God.
Hi.
to the American people.
She is beautiful.
Multiple questions, multiple
All right, what do we think?
dust-ups,
Oh,
Declare a
man.
winner.
Declare a
If
winner?
you had to pick a winner.
By the standard of who will persuade more voters?
Who won?
Trump won.
Shake his hand, shake his hand, shake his. Oh man, I wanted Joe Biden to accidentally shake Chris Wallace's
God,
hand.
that is the most awkward.
I think Trump won just because you can't. How do you beat a steamroller? You know?
If he looks like an asshole.
I don't know. I mean, that would be how. But I don't think Biden did good enough to overcome that either.
What case did Joe Biden make tonight to the people that was
It was a
Joe Biden presidency?
tumultuous
This is what you're going to get with me. What was the case that he made?
They both
None.
dove in
I don't.
really
I don't
hard,
think
and
he
I
made
think
anything
obviously
policy-wise that was that way. But I
there
think
was
if
other-
you are an
and as
outsider
far as
looking
the
in on this
bottom line
debate,
goes, with regard to
behaviorally,
Joe Biden,
I
who
think
was trying
people are going to
challenge
say that
President of the United
Biden
States
was acting
become the
more
next
the word
president.
we all hate.
None of
presidential.
the
See,
pitfalls that were discussed, I think that,
agree just
you know,
because in contrast to
according
Trump's
well, there are points
bold,
that go through
nonstop
that
talking,
point in terms
he
of
looks
the
more
issue,
presidential on that
but, you know,
level,
none of
but
the
he did
big sort of
not
nothing
seem
embarrassing. It was
competent
just,
or
his
confident
way
at all
to
either.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have. If he had come out and seemed really calm and confident and I'm under control and this guy's a maniac, I think that would have happened. But I don't think either one of them really pulled away.
Yeah.
Brett Baer just said, I do feel like we've been through something.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to process this right now.
It's like a really weird date. Like you went and you're like, I don't think, like I was really excited about this. I had high hopes for it. And it wasn't the worst time I had, but it wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you just walk away from it going, well,
I have to think on that. I have to mull that over.
Yeah.
That's what I have to do.
I really don't think that debate is going to move the electorate one way or the other.
Frank says on Periscope, why can't Trump just shut up? I'm voting for him, but it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Tony here says Trump beat himself. Mark says missed. Gosh, you guys are commenting so fast. I love it. Missed opportunity by Trump. Kevin says my wife just texted me and said the debate was like watching 2 drunk uncles argue at a family gathering. Chris says rather have a leader with power than one who can be easily pushed around. Andrew says Joe just looked into the camera trying to act like he was talking to them.
Yeah.
Angela says, but the chili and slush was good.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You guys had enough to eat? You want some chili? You need
I
something
just
to
had
drink?
another bowl
I
right
can't.
before the end of the debate.
I can't. I feel like I will never eat ever again. I'm so full.
Yeah.
Jeff said Annie just described a strip club. I don't know what you're talking about at this point, but you know, hey.
I don't either. And normally I'd pick up on that sort of thing.
Chris, oops, that's not Chris. Chris says Trump lost. He can't stop interrupting. Made him look insecure. Hi, Chris. Hey, Chris.
I don't think it made him look insecure. It just,
He'll have to be coached on it.
yeah, the next debate's gonna look a lot different. I guarantee that.
Zach says Trump needs to let Biden dig himself more.
Yes,
Lyle says no votes were changed tonight.
that's a fact.
Michael says, I wish Trump would have told the American people to Google Project Veritas. I'm sure I butchered that spelling. You did, but I knew what you meant, so that's fine.
Dana Perino just said something really great.
What's
And
that?
She said that Trump had. Wait, what the heck did she say? Dang, now I missed
I'll
it.
go back. It's the whiskey.
It's whiskey. It was really good.
Kept doing though was interrupting Joe Biden when
This?
Joe
Okay, here you go.
I mean, that's gonna be that's gonna be all people are talking about is Trump interrupting. That's gonna be the story.
Andrew says, love Annie Fry and crew is all that matters. Thanks for the content.
Yay.
Yeah, Andrew, thank you for being here. Biden's case, higher taxes depend on other countries for fossil fuel. I did hear Biden say tonight, I will repeal the Trump tax cuts. And I got text messages from like 4 people who I know personally who said, wait a second, I get more money in my paycheck because of Trump's tax cuts. So that is definitely something that regular Joes actually do believe that Trump tax cuts help them. And Biden said tonight that he will repeal those tax cuts. And he also said very, very firmly, you can't argue around it at all, that he doesn't have the Green New Deal, that that's not part of what he's talking about. And I think that on the other side could get some people going, what the hell? Like the Biden or the Bernie people have come over to support you. And in the process, you need to be supporting that.
Plus, he came out in support of law enforcement.
Sort of. All right, let's listen to what Dana says here that Katie said was good.
Well, I think it is a real shame that we did not play the bingo drinking game during that because I think that we would all be feeling a little loose at this point. Instead, I think you feel amped when you watch that. I think, as Britt said, it felt like being on a bucking bronco. I do think that Joe Biden cleared the very low bar that had been set for him. He had more to lose than Trump had to gain, and I think that he held on. I don't know if that necessarily changed any minds, but you were a Democrat.
That was it.
Yeah.
Concerned
He had-
about Biden maybe falling flat tonight. You don't have to worry about that going forward. Now, President Trump came very prepared. He had some great lines. The one thing he kept doing, though, was interrupting Joe Biden when Joe Biden might have been just about to maybe fumble on the 1-yard line.
Yes.
So those moments didn't happen. Joe Biden also spent a lot of time talking directly to the camera. He also said something that people have been wondering about in terms of being pulled too far to the left. He said, I am the Democratic Party. President Trump was very good on some of the specifics, I would say, especially law and order, judges, veterans, and military. And he could really parry with Joe Biden on something like the Green New Deal. At the end of this, I am not sure if any minds were changed, but also I think maybe it's a good thing for both candidates that a majority of Americans said that their minds are already made up.
I think that was all so smart.
Yeah, we're big fans of Dana Perino here. Okay, so do either of you think, I'm just asking questions, I'm not even weighing in. Do either of you think that somebody watched this and might have been swayed?
The only person I can see. No, actually, you go first. You go first.
Mine is no. I think, and I don't think anybody tuned into this first debate to have their mind swayed. I think that a lot of people, if they don't
wanted
know
to see their dog win the fight.
yes,
Well,
or
that's
they're
the
going to wait
majority, yeah.
all 3. They're going to wait until all 3 debates are done, if that even happens.
The only person I can see being swayed by this at all, which polling wise was very, very few people. They said about 6% or even persuadable at all, let alone if those 6% even tuned into this, because they're clearly not very politically engaged. But if they did, I think you're talking about somebody who's not not a politico, not really interested in the whole thing, is sick of politics, especially this year. If they tuned in, they might have been turned off by Trump being a bully because they don't care. It's not policy. They're not voting on policy. They're voting on personality
And
emotion. And he would have maybe turned those people off, except that Biden didn't take advantage of that and come out strong. He came out looking kind of weak. So those two things might disqualify each other. So it's probably a wash.
Jerry says, "You made my night. Thank you, Jerry, for being here. We're very grateful for it. I think Trump just let Biden sniff the bait, waiting to set the hook on the next debate." That is very interesting because even if Trump would have just nailed this one and hit it out of the park, if he flubs the second or worse, the third debate, we won't even remember. We'll be like, you remember the first debate? It was like kind of all over the place. Like nobody really got that big bite of what they wanted to have from it. This is like where, in the beginning of a high school football game or college probably too. I don't know if they do this in college football. I'll ask Mike. I have a college football expert over here. Do they run out of paper? Bust through paper things in college football? That's high school only, right? You don't judge me. Did you see the look on his face when I asked him that?
That's
he was
the
like,
look that you give me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, he taught it to me. It's his fault. I'm blaming Jared.
I'm pretty sure they
Or, I
do
mean,
that
my
in some
expert.
professional games, though, still, don't they?
Didn't the Rams like run out of a Black Lives
Don't
Matter
they-
paper or
don't
something
they-
in St.
don't they
Louis right
all?
before they left?
Like have
That's
these huge
judgment.
entrances?
I know things. I'm not stupid. It's the face. There's judgment.
He's winning this by not talking. He's making a point right now.
Donald Trump, you could have taken a note from Jared. That's all you had to do. Shut up and let the rambler just yak, yak, yak and dig her own grave. I don't know what I was going to say to this say, why are we talking about college football here? It's like in high school when everybody like runs, it's homecoming. And you're playing your one night game. That's the way it was at Metro East when I was there because we didn't have lights on the field. We like rented lights for homecoming. We're the first night football game, and everybody's hyped. And you run out of the paper, and everyone's excited. The cheerleaders are shouting, and you've got your homecoming parade. Everybody in the convertibles, like parents are all excited because it's senior night, and everyone's excited. And then the game is like not a good game. Yeah, So like you're super pumped, you're super amped. But it's homecoming. It's not the playoffs. It's not the season where you win the last game and you finish, 6-3. So you make the playoffs for the first time, and then you're in the playoffs. And then once you get into the playoffs, you make a run for some sort of championship. Like we are in homecoming night right now, which is a big night. It's really exciting. You'll remember it for the rest of your life. And the game was like, I mean, it is not really as exciting as you hoped it would be, but it's not the season. So maybe, Jerry, to your point, let Joe Biden think that this is how you're going to be. And then in the next two debates, and this might be a game time decision since I'm using all these sports metaphors. This might be a game time decision on the Trump part to look at this and to see people like us. And let's be honest, Katie, women are going to be turned off by Trump's.
I almost said that. I didn't want to say it, but
why? Because you think less of women?
I think that they are lesser
Captain
of
America?
the two genders, if that's what you mean. Is that what you're
Do you
implying?
hear
Went from 410 people viewing to about.
All right, sorry.
200.
Well, that was Ryan's last point. Let me see. This is right about here. All right, Katie, what do you think about? Oh, I'm having a
Hey,
Charlie.
I'm watching us on my phone now.
Katie, what do you think? I'm legit having a Charlie horse.
Oh, no. Right in the middle of this. Oh, well, I guess I get more screen time.
Women.
Women. I'll get Jared in here.
No, right here. Right here.
Annie is legit down for the count right now because she has a Charlie horse. And those are so
okay.
bad.
Stop!
Don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to these cookies.
I have been kneeling and sitting cross-legged, and I uncrossed my leg. Have you guys ever had a Charlie horse?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
you
my
can feel
God,
the muscles
so
just go
bad.
like this.
I always do this because it hurts initially, but then it feels so
That's what
good.
when Jared grabbed the spot on my leg where I could pull my foot.
Yeah,
You just
Annie
pinch
asked
it.
for this chair, but I said chairs are for the men.
And that's me too. Yeah.
We're Republicans. It's not a good look. I mean, I don't want you to take this home with you. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, that Charlie horse is still good
Still
grief.
going, huh?
It's just kind of like
That
hanging out. It's
sucks.
like I'm still here and I might act up again, but I just want you to know that. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I definitely think women that watch this, although the women that are watching this that know Trump are already like, yeah, that's Trump.
Yeah, I just don't think
Like-
it's going to do much, which is odd because, like Dana Perino said, Trump didn't have as much to gain. Biden,
Oh my God, I can't drink anymore.
Biden had more to lose and
I'm
more
so
to gain, and still, I don't think really there's going to be a lot of movement.
Johnny says, nice party, Annie, but you don't need to have a debate to have one. We'll do this again on the
Yeah.
debate nights.
Yeah.
That's
And-
once a week from now until the election. You sure you're ready for that?
I mean, well, let's all wear pajamas for the Pence Kamala debate because that's going to be. I mean, maybe it's the best time to do one of these because I think that's going to be so incredibly boring.
That's going to be next Wednesday.
Do you think that that's going to be exciting?
It's going to be the reverse, where I think Kamala is going to be really on the offense on that one, and Pence is going to be kind of his normal self, just kind of walking through
I
it.
think all the Democrats that really don't like Biden but really love Kamala Harris, they're going to
Kamala.
What did I say?
Kamala.
What is her name?
Kamala.
Kamala? Kamala?
See, Tucker, it's hard for everybody.
Which one is it?
Kamala. Like a comma. La.
Well, Harris, I think a lot of people are
Harris.
Well,
with
speaking
Harris.
of Harris,
I just don't. I think everyone this next week will be amping that up. A lot of like Democrats and progressives because she will have to be severely on the offense.
yeah, the best I think we can hope. That one almost intrigues me more because we don't really know what to expect out of the VP debate, and are people really watching that? I mean, after this, I think the average viewer is going to be like, kind of saw what I needed to see.
Yeah.
You have mostly political people and people who are pretty engaged probably watching the VP debate.
I think it's going to be weird because everything Kamala Harris goes in on is going to be Trump. And Mike Pence is just going to say, well, our administration has done this, this, and this. And so it's going to be a lot of orange man bad.
Yeah.
I don't know maybe she'll come with some policy, but like, seriously, what policy positions did Biden take today?
Not much. I mean, he was on the defense a lot. The offense that he tried to play was basically attacking Trump for not listening to his advisors more.
It seemed like he was trying to push away from being associated with like super progressive policies.
Yeah,
I think
oddly,
that's the only thing
it's surprisingly.
Try to be a centrist?
Yeah,
a little bit.
I think he really is. Well, I mean, as Dana Perino pointed out, he's in the middle there. He was like, I am the Democratic Party. I am who they chose. I am the Democratic Party. And I think he's trying to tell them, like, I will not be persuaded to go all the way left. Yay! Thanks, Kevin.
How about at the beginning of the debate when Joe
like
Biden
Christmas.
said maybe he'd get lucky tonight?
Yeah. I need that, and I need, what did he
Hush
say? Like,
now or
no,
something.
he's like, would you shut him up or something like
Yeah,
that?
would you
Joe
shush?
Biden-
Would you
Will you
shush him
shut-
or
what
something
It
like
was,
that?
it was like, will you shush him up or shush him up or something like that?
We should have timestamped those.
Kevin, thank you so much. YouTube super chat $5. Gonna help us do stuff like this more often. Super excited about it. And if I can keep feeding and watering these individuals, then the party continues to move forward. So thank you very much for that, Kevin. Very awesome. Let's see. I think it was a different Kevin previously that I had up here said they didn't watch. Who do you think won? I think that my opinion is that Trump had to earn his win, and if nobody wins, it defaults to Biden because Biden was expected to lose. So if it's not obvious that Trump wins, then I think that Biden gets the default win in his category. But I also don't think that anybody's being persuaded right now. I do think that people will probably tune in the next time if they didn't watch this one because they heard how much of a train wreck this was. I think people will tune in to see it for themselves the next time, and hopefully Trump doesn't interrupt as much as he did this time because it wasn't a good look. Kevin, $5 super chat
awesome.
for Go Trump. I'm happy to put that up there. Thank you so much.
This is one of those where when you hear the post-game show like you're watching right now, If Republicans say, it was probably a draw, usually Democrats are going to say, well, our guy won, and vice versa. If Democrats say it was a draw, Republicans are going to say that our guy won. This is the one where I'm not sure that that's going to happen because the whole universe seems to revolve around Trump.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to be able to say Biden won unless they say exactly what Andy just said, that he just won by default, because the debate still revolved around Trump, good or bad.
I'm getting messages from some people who I know personally that said NBC is calling the debate a train wreck. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Funky Sacks on Periscope. Thanks for watching us on the @AnnieFry Show Twitter account. We've got this posted here, and we're grateful that you're joining us there too, because we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. We are trying to be wherever you are. Says Trump had no respect for the process. That's true. Trump had no respect for the process. Trump did not have respect for Chris Wallace. I don't think that Chris Wallace really did anything to try to earn Trump's respect or Joe Biden's respect for that matter. I think that Chris Wallace came in and thought, I'm going to do this moderator thing, and the other two were there to fight, and so they did fight. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Ooh. Who's this? Jackie. We want more off-schedule lives. Okay. Love AFS, a $10 super chat. Thank you. I'm so excited about that. Oh my gosh. And Mike sent a super sticker. I have to go see that on the.
What do these mean?
These
Super
people
sticker.
are freaking awesome. He sent us this thumbs up
okay.
image, and it says "Good job." I haven't had a good job sticker like that since I was in grade school, and I'm so happy. Thank you. That's awesome. So thank you for that. This is all stuff that we put back into the show, and we have some expenses to make stuff happen like this, and this helps us make it happen. And Jackie here says she wants more off-schedule lives. You should tell us what you want us to do. Like what things would you like to see us do off the air? Because we have way less limitations here.
Right, and I'm just a trained horse. Like if they say jump, I jump.
It's kind of true. There was this reindeer costume.
Yeah.
It's a moose costume.
Which, by the way, I was thinking about that. I think that maybe we should convert that moose costume into a kangaroo costume so that one of you guys could ride in my pouch.
Katie?
Goes.
No. Let me tell you how this is going to not go. I'm not going to make you do it, but I sure as hell not. The Daily Show tweeted, Chris Wallace's debate performance tonight is a great reminder that kindergarten teachers are underpaid.
Yeah.
Hey, here's who won tonight. Amy Coney Barrett.
And America in that regard. You guys are funny. I got my 97-1 hit, so I'm going to go on with Tony Colombo's post-game coverage that he's doing right now, and he bumped me to 920, and I got to do what Tony says. So
920, you missed that.
Yeah, 10:20.
10:20.
That was 9:20 Mountain Time. which
we
Tony
do always tweets and texts at
in the
Mountain
Fry
Time.
House. We talk in Mountain Time, and I forgot to tell you guys that.
Mountain Time.
So it was good that you showed up on time though, because I could have seen how that would have been confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Everything you say is always so relevant in Salt Lake City, though.
I know. That's why we talk in Mountain Time. Don Martin says, Annie, you should have a fan party, not at your house, but at a local bar. I can't. I'm in Illinois. We can't go into bars. There aren't any stools.
Hey, if we can get all 300 people to show up, we can do whatever we want, wherever we want.
Yeah. Would you come if we were able to have a party, one of these things, not on social media, which we could still do it on social media, but you would be here behind me instead of these two cats. Would you come? That would be fun. I don't think I'm allowed to. I don't think I'm allowed to go. It would have to be
a secret.
Come to Missouri.
Between you and me, you and us girls.
What?
Nothing.
Are we going to Kimswick?
Don says, Missouri has open bars. Yes, you do. I think I'm still limited in what.
Reading that Clinton County has open bars.
Mark says have it at Stumpy's.
Yeah.
We could have a field party, which is what I know.
Yeah, field fire. Let's burn some tires.
Have you ever had you probably don't know what that is.
I've been to 2.
Let me tell you, it's a party in a field.
Yes. Yes.
And usually there's a big fire, right?
I've only been to 2. I went to 2 in college. It was fun. It was really fun. Nobody gave a crap.
Oliver says, I'd love to dance with Ryan if he's okay with it.
Come on, man. We're letting you have your night tonight. I hope you're enjoying yourself, Albert.
I'm enjoying myself.
Look at all the people cleaning up the stage and whatnot.
400 people just randomly show up at the same bar. It wouldn't be any liability for you. Here's what I'm gonna do.
I'll
I'm gonna
wear
put
the
my
shirt.
location on Google Maps because it's just there. And if you find me, you find me.
Let's hope that doesn't land like in the middle of an interstate.
Saturn Berry says, I'm a lady and I voted for Trump. Yeah, Trump kicks bullies' butts. Takes notes. Hashtag Trump 2020.
I think
Hashtag walk away.
Yeah, she's the only one saying that Trump was not a bully tonight.
How do they?
Trump
the
kicks
producers
bullies'
on
butts.
this are so great. They already have these reels ready and everything from tonight.
Katie's sitting back there admiring the work of the slave-driven people in the back room with crazy hosts going, "Get the cut! Get the cut!" where he tells them to shut him up and eat it now. That's how we talk on the break. That's how I talk to them.
I am just like so baffled at how quickly people can turn stuff in television over.
Oh, well, you think some of the stuff they're showing is from the beginning of the debate, though?
Yeah.
So they've had a good hour and a half to get that ready. This is Hannity.
Brian makes a point. You can come to Montgomery County, get away from STL. Yeah, Montgomery County is not.
Hey,
locked
let's
down
go
the
to
way we are.
Florida.
Okay.
It's open.
You don't need to ask me twice. Jared's over going, oh, don't say that.
No.
Don't say that out loud.
No.
Well, let's just set a goal of YouTube stickers, and then when we get to a certain amount,
I'm going to need about 400 more Trump 2020 $5 stickers.
My brother just texted. I can see how many he could put up at his house.
Okay.
He couldn't fit all 5 of us. He's worried. He says, does Annie have to call Tony? 10:20 East, or what time zone are we? Central.
Yeah, 9:20 Mountain.
What should, you know what I should, no, I can't. I should say in super chats on the air, whatever people, I can't do that. Well, according to blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to call into 97.1 here in 15 minutes and join Tony Colombo, who's doing a post-game show. So if you want to tune in to 97.1 and hear what those folks are thinking about it, I wonder if he bumped me for like one of these more important people like Mark Cox or Dave Glover. I bet Mark Coxed me again. I want to know.
I would not be surprised.
Should we? Let me pull up. So did you know that radio.com is an app that you have on your phone?
Yeah.
And you can stream 97.1 commercials. I know that probably shocks some of you. That's how I feed my family. That and super chats.
With commercials, they eat the commercials.
So let's see if I got bumped for somebody more important than me. Tony, are you watching?
I guarantee it's Mark Cox.
Mark Cox.
Like, I gotta get up so early.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta wake up at 3 a.m. Be on there at 5 a.m. I couldn't do it. Katie?
No, you don't want to do it.
All the
You
things,
could do it,
all
but
the
you don't
things
want
that he
to.
says are true. I just wish he wouldn't speak like that.
It's like your impression of me. You should call in tonight and just pretend you're me.
Yeah.
And nobody will know the difference.
No, my my impersonation of her has changed.
It has?
Yeah, it's not the country guy anymore. It's the wealthy British socialite or whatever that was. You remember?
Yeah, how'd that go? Do you remember it still?
It was something like, if I'm reading the Chiron here, it would be, Biden stumbles his way through the first debate. It's breaking news on Fox.
That's like a two-headed troll that's like in some intellectually stimulating British show that I watch. And I'm like, I don't get this.
Yes, it's a stimulating British show. It's something like the British version of some PBS show that's American. Although all PBS shows are British versions of actual British shows.
Down Abbey. It's like Down Abbey.
Yeah.
Downton Abbey. Brad says, whiskey slush count for you 3. I had, I think, 3 of these.
Wow. I had 1.
Continuous?
I'm still drinking it. I cannot handle liquor. I knew I was going to have to drive home.
He filled his glass a few times.
I have not.
I thought you had.
No, I
over
haven't.
there.
Nope.
It's sitting on the bar. As a
It's,
matter of fact.
yeah, I finished it.
Yeah,
I
but
did
he
not-
put slush in it,
completely.
and then he just kept pouring whiskey on top. We didn't tell him how to drink whiskey slushes. He just thought, so I have the slush, and I have to add the whiskey.
Why
I'm like,
doesn't the liquid stay frozen?
I could have sworn you went back there and
I went back there a few times, but one time was for a hot dog, one time was for chips.
Hey,
one
remember
time
that
was for
time you and
chili.
I were talking on here, and then he just leaned right over that chair and just started eating a hot dog out of his hand?
Those were ginormous hot dogs, by the way.
Yeah.
But
Smoked sausage.
What?
Actually.
What are they?
Bar S.
Bar S hot dogs.
Like huge.
Not hot dogs.
Big.
Oh!
Smoked
Well,
sausage.
I thought it was anti-intellectual.
I got bumped for the
I
PM
really
drive
was
time guy.
fairly sickened by it. I really did.
Dave, your perspective about if you weren't a
When was
political-
Mark going on?
is actually very salient. And it also
Who is
goes to
this?
idea
Rodney
that
Boyd.
If I'm Joe
Oh.
Biden and I got a chance to stand on the stage as president, I'm not going to come off the stage without the American people and the people watching this hearing 3 or 4 things.
What channel of
that I
Opal are you
proposed
on?
that they didn't know before this
You're not
debate
Opal, you're
that they can
Access
never
4L.
forget because I kept bringing them up over and over
Access
again.
what?
And none of
Access
that
4L.
happened tonight. So, I mean,
Don't say that on a live stream. Now everybody's going to be
Access
Access 4L, and they're going to crowd it out.
I don't even know what that means.
Going to make up their mind in the next couple of weeks. Do you think they got anything that will help them make up their mind in the next?
Johnny!
Yay!
Yay! Johnny! Thank you so much.
She start clapping like a child.
Who else we got here?
If you're a Trump person, you thought
I should just listen to what Dave Glover is saying right now, and I should just repeat it
verbatim.
like
I guess Mark is
verbatim.
not going to be on. If I were Mark, I would.
Yeah,
This is
it's
so
late.
late. This is so late.
No one moved there.
Did he say if he was going to watch the whole debate? Did Mark say something?
In the middle. Well,
K Mattins 01. I could get behind a 2A rally or just to get together is booze, barbecue, and friends.
Yeah.
I do live and breathe this stuff, and I
Who's
still
barbecue
don't know what the hell they're talking about. I don't.
I can
know
clap with
what
one hand.
the president's
Check this
plan
out.
has
Please
in it
don't.
or not, like
It's gonna ruin
because
it for
all they
people,
did was
like,
say, "No, it doesn't."
the night.
And then Joe Biden, like,
Go ahead,
Green
fine,
New
do your
Deal,
weird
not
tricks.
the Green New Deal. Why
Ready?
yours? How is it different? Like I was frustrated because while I'm enjoying
Stop!
the shenanigans,
I'm gonna get a Charlie horse again. Yeah, you do it now, Katie.
I don't know how you just did that.
Don't ever do that again. Stop it!
And I assume that
I used to have a radio show from noon to 3.
Now we're
Awesome.
inviting animals on. Tomorrow at noon, it's going to be a dog.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Man, Johnny and K-Matt, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You guys supporting us here is super awesome. And we're really excited to be able to do this with you. What?
Let's get your dog on the
Just
show.
answer that question. Let's move on.
I think you're enough tricks for the whole party. I don't know that we need her on.
It seems like you're the one in this format tonight. If you were getting the question first,
Tony Colombo breaking it down with Dave Glover right now on 97.1. Are you listening on radio.com?
Are we staying on until you go live?
Question and they couldn't
Okay.
defend
Only a
the
couple minutes
allegations given to you. What did you think about that part of it?
Hey, Wiggins.
Yeah,
You should try out for America's Got People. Talent. America's Got Talent.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
America's got people.
Ryan Wiggins.
America's got people. Here's a person.
Here's another guy.
Hey, you guys, I'm a person.
Watch what I can do.
Anybody got any cookies? I got cookie dance.
I wish we had somebody who could clap with one hand.
Another episode of America's
We
Got
need a
People.
person in here.
Showcasing the best people from each nation.
Oh
As
my
opposed to
gosh.
Antarctica, those losers don't have any people.
I think tonight was largely a waste of time for everyone.
Oh, it's
So I went ahead and I looked ahead.
Tim Jones saying
and we
tonight
got
was a
the
waste of
vice
time for
presidential
everybody.
debate next.
Wow.
That's going to be very fascinating.
Yeah.
I'll
Pam
put that
just
aside
said I
for a
just
minute
woke up a
and
kid
stay on
laughing.
top of the
I'm
debate.
yelling at Chris Wallace waking up people's kids.
Mid-October,
Ryan's being a
and it's
goober
gonna be a
and making people laugh and waking up your children. We're like a menace to society.
He doesn't really know that well. He's a political
Well, we
C-SPAN.
think.
What?
What ours
It's going to be a
actually.
town
Is
hall event
the littlest with the big?
undecided
Okay.
voters.
Made that
And so each candidate will have to speak
All right,
directly
here.
to a voter, and hopefully the other one won't be allowed
Jeff
to
said,
interrupt
I
them.
cannot
Do you
believe
think
Wiggins did
that might
TV with
possibly
this face.
hold us, you know what show
Yeah.
out from,
Yeah, man,
out
you should
from
see
the
one of my
deep, dark
one
recesses
one
of
episode of
disaster that
Sonic
it went
Stage.
into.
You'll be like,
Maybe
what
we
the
learn
heck
a little
is
bit
this?
something about
Michael
potential
says
what
this has
we
been the
can
best way to watch the debate. Thank you, Annie, Katie, and Ryan. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
this has been a blast.
This has been fun.
I hope that
We have totally enjoyed it.
yeah,
And we will do more of this.
that's what I was gonna say.
What?
I was like,
This has been a blast.
good. It's been a good. It's been like big one.
This is big hot dog I
We got
ate.
some pillows and a blanket for Ryan to make the futon.
This has
The
been a
futon.
Out to the car now.
Oh, Robert, thank you so much. Trump 2020. Robert Shaw says hashtag Trump 2020. Thank you, Robert. You guys are the best.
Yay, Robert
So-
Shaw! Look at this clap. Watch this one.
Oh,
Instead
too many
of like
hands.
this, and not like this. The two is the best, really, and since we're all here.
This is what happens when people don't see each other for 7 months.
Yeah. I got so much material. I can't wait to get it out.
I have to go talk to Tony Colombo and be serious. He's gonna be like, "What's the night been like for you, Annie?" I'm gonna be like, "It's been really hard to explain."
You're gonna try to do the two-handed clap and not do it.
I'm not gonna try it,
Just
especially
try
on the radio.
Well, let me see if this answers your question, Tony. See?
I'm gonna have to get my act together here in a minute. Woo!
Oh, is it hot down here? It's a basement. It's supposed to be cool.
One whiskey?
Man, I'm telling you what.
One?
Yeah. And it was a while ago.
Carla says, I would not call that material.
That sucks because this is like 6 or 7 months worth of intense writing.
Jackie, yes, I'm going on the air in 5 minutes following Dave Glover, who I was supposed to go first. And I got bumped for Dave because he's got to get his beauty sleep. And I got to deal with this longer now. And I got to go on. Like, honestly, I'm glad we're having this conversation right now. Because the debate in and of itself was, it was a dumpster fire, train wreck, whatever. Did we expect something differently? I think this is what we all thought would happen, but we're excited for something in the event that this isn't what happened.
I did not think that this would happen. I mean, it doesn't surprise me now that it's over. It's not like, oh my gosh, can you believe that? It's like, this is what we've been seeing for 4 years. But
Aspect 04 on Periscope says, what did you guys think about the debate? Go ahead and do your clapping again.
okay, so I thought that it was not worthy of this, but I thought it was worthy of this.
Okay, I hate that sound so much.
I'm excited to see the growth. I'm like this
As people,
as for each other.
growth between each other.
Oh my gosh.
How many whiskeys are you in?
Yeah, you
Debates.
didn't say how many whiskeys. Two? Yeah.
What the heck is this?
What?
This promo.
Ryan's
It's supposed to be running.
Ryan's responsible for promos.
That's on radio.com though.
Man, now I gotta go to work.
That's on radio.com.
No, that's not supposed to be running at all, though.
You guys, I gotta go be on the air.
God dang it.
You want me to end this? Yeah. Tune in to Annie Fry Show on radio.com. You guys, we're going to do this again. If you are watching us on YouTube or Facebook, or if you are watching us on Periscope, please subscribe to these channels for us because this is where we get to come to you and participate in this form, which is way different than the radio, which is what I got to go do right now in the other room. So we will talk to you again next time tomorrow on the air. Game, $5. Thank you. Ryan reminds me of the Statue of David. I don't understand why, but I don't understand.
I'm not sure I do
Connection
either.
lost on me.
No joke. I gotta go be on the air, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, guys.
We'll be back tomorrow. Who won the debate? I don't know. I feel like America might have lost, but we got the Captain America shirt right here, and he can clap twice with separate hands. So we got that going for us. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Don't go anywhere.